Hello, and welcome back to the Live Reality Game Podcast. My name is Steven. I'm here today with more Surviving Reelfoot deep dive content, postseason analysis. And joining me today, we have the first person to ever kill a snake on Survivor. We have a person who's made it in, and in fact is the winner of the season herself. Joining me today is Sam. Sam, how are you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to join.
Yeah, we've been taking a bit to make this happen, so I'm very excited today to talk to you and hear your story as the winner. But first off, how have you been since Reelfoot?
I've been great. It was a crazy transition from going to spending 8 days out in the woods with the bare necessities and then coming home and jumping back into the real world. But it's been going.
I remember watching Survivor Gettysburg. I remember your introduction that season was like, I want to play Naked and Afraid, but I guess Survivor is the second best. I'm curious, is Naked and Afraid still the dream game, or is Survivor kind of growing in terms of games you're interested in as a result of playing and doing well in them?
Survivor's definitely starting to grow on me. I finally actually watched 4 seasons. I started off with, I think it was season 47. It was teeny season because I did play with him and Gettysburg. And so I did start watching 4 or 5 seasons only because I just wanted to get a better generalization of how the game was, because Reelfoot is the closest to the show. I'm still a huge Naked and Afraid fan, would rather go do that than play Survivor just because I suck at competitions. So but yeah, Survivor's starting to grow on me a little bit.
You say that, but you did win an immunity challenge this season.
I did win an immunity challenge. That one, I still don't even get how I won that, because I thought everyone else would have done way better than I did. That was like pure luck. Other than the shooting the basketball, I'm pretty good with aim. Reelfoot, I honestly going into it, I never thought I'd win one immunity, just because it's so much tougher, especially just because of which we'll go into it, but how my first few days were going. It was just like, yeah, I'm never going to win immunities. So winning immunity for Reelfoot was definitely a big accomplishment.
Well, you do have some fans in the chat. Ashley Birch says, hey. And then Danny Ortega from your season says, my queen.
He's my king.
Already. So you play Survivor Pennsylvania, you play Survivor New York. What gets you to apply and want to play Surviving Reelfoot?
Pete. So Pete, when I played Survivor New York, we would be sitting, because he was the handler before we went in for tribal, and he would just pitch the show to us. And then I just kept thinking about it. I actually didn't apply for Reelfoot until the day after applications had closed.
Nice.
Because I was still undecided. I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it. Just jump on there. And then I messaged them and was like, hey, I'm sorry I'm a day late, but I did apply and hopefully I get a shot.
So you apply, and do you get cast immediately? Or?
No, they had me do 3 different interviews. And then on the 4th interview, when I finally found out, they play this little joke, and I'm not going to talk more about the joke because I don't want to spoil it. But they play with your emotions on getting casted or not. And because on Survivor Gettysburg, I did not get casted the first time, and then a lot of people had dropped out. So then I got re-interviewed for casting. So I was like, damn, is this about to happen again? Because I'm getting stereotyped. They're like, no, we don't want this Barbie looking girl to come out here and play this show. So yeah, they played it very well.
So you get on this season. I'm curious, did you do anything to prepare for the game?
So I wanted to, but on Easter we were playing volleyball, and I tore my rotator cuff and the ligament in my shoulder. So there wasn't really much. Yeah, there wasn't much that I could do to prepare it. And honestly, that's just part of my gameplay, just being me anyways. For Gettysburg, I did prepare. New York, I didn't. And so for Reelfoot, I was just like, you know what? We're not going to prepare. We're going to overpack, because every time I've overpacked, it's benefited for me. A bit of benefit for me. It's like worked in my favor. So I'm like, all right, we're going to keep this superstition going. And I overpacked, and look, I won.
So I'm curious, what have been your takeaways from playing Survivor New York and Survivor Pennsylvania? Like, what lessons have you learned from that? You're like, all right, I want to make sure I do this or don't do this in Reelfoot.
So Pennsylvania, I was completely dumbfounded with a lot of the stuff that was going on, because I had no idea anything about Survivor. I've only watched, at that point, it was 1 or 2 episodes with my grandmother when it first came out. So I didn't know anything about Survivor. And I wanted to know a little bit more going into New York. So I watched, I think, a bunch of reels on TikTok and stuff of just like the basic things that were going on. Because I still wanted to play that dumbfounded personality, I guess, just because I knew people were already going to underestimate me because I'm little and I'm blonde. So I was like, well, we might as well just hype that up some more. And then going into Reelfoot, I wanted to play the game like I did in New York because I felt like in New York, I was actually able to make moves and kind of play on my dumbfoundedness and like do things behind the scenes. So I was like, I'm going to do this in Reelfoot too. That did not happen at all, but that was my whole gameplay of what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm going to get everyone to like me, and then I'm just going to do all these secret moves behind and get all these people out, even though that did not work in my favor at all.
So you arrived, I guess, did you drive directly to the game? Were you carpooled to the game? How did that work? How did your arrival work?
No, I drove to the game. It was a long, grueling 9-hour drive. I'm more of a driver. I don't like to fly, so I try not to fly as much as possible. And then I arrived and I stayed at this hotel that was recommended, and it was not a good hotel. It was disgusting. I got my sleeping bag and stuff out of the car and slept on the bed in my sleeping bag because I was like, well, you know what? We're about to go spend time in the woods. We might as well try to get some comfort. So it was gross, though. It was so nasty.
So you arrive at the game site the next day and you see the cast. And is there anyone you recognize or that you know of?
So I actually got lost on my way there because my GPS decided to stop working. So I was already full of anxiety. I was like 15 minutes late because we all had different arrival times of when to arrive. I go in, and first I realized I see Melanie, which she was on production, and she had been on production on all the other games that I've played. So like that was really cool to see. I was like, oh, cool, I have someone else watching me again. This is awesome. And then up on the balcony, they had people, and I seen Danny up there. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. But he was wearing blue because the night before we got our colors, and I was in yellow. I was like, damn, we're not on the same tribe. Like, this is going to suck because I played with Danny in New York. We had only played for a day or two together before he got voted out. But I was like, all right, cool. That can be a connection if I make it to merge. I didn't know anyone else. And then I was kind of trying to like pinpoint, who was on the tribes. There was a few people that were in black. So it was really hard to tell if they were playing or if maybe they were on production or not, because all of production was there with their stuff as well. So unless they were in a production shirt, like you really couldn't tell. And then Eric, I also guessed about him because he wasn't in any normal clothes, but I could tell by his yellow socks that maybe he was on my tribe. And then I started looking around, noticing everybody. And we were all paired with a blue person. And like, I can't remember who I was paired with. They had the indie tattoo on their calf. That's all I can remember about them, but I can't remember their name. They ended up going out early in the game. But they're really cool, but they kept trying to talk to me, and in my head, I'm like, man, I just want to see like everybody's walking through the door. I just want to kind of figure out who I can hang out with. And then they finally told us to stop talking. So that was nice. Because my anxiety was like really high.
I mean, I don't blame you. Going to the game, you're just like, first impressions are everything. And you just like, I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah. And because like you always get targets on your back when you talk to people in these games, I've noticed. So like I also didn't want it to look like I was trying to like pre-game with a blue person, and that way if we merged, I already had a bond or whatever. I didn't want to do that.
So once the game begins, you learn that this is Dreamers versus Doers. You've been placed on the Doer tribe. Now, do you agree with that categorization of yourself?
I do. However, I feel like I would have had a better time on the Dreamer side.
Really? Okay.
got along better with them. Yes, the doing thing, yes, just because of how I grew up and just because of the my job that I have, I'm always just figuring everything out. I'm always like the leader of things.
So your tribe wins the opening challenge and you arrive at camp. Talk me through those opening hours of that first day as you're setting up camp and getting to know people.
Okay, so that first challenge sucked. I'm not a runner. I don't have cardio. They had us carrying this big ass heavy snake, which thankfully my tribe didn't make me carry it. So I just ran alongside them. Then we had to swim across the pond, and we had to go slingshot, and then we had to run all the way around the lake, still carrying the stupid snake and up a hill. And me and Leah, we were just like, yeah, we ain't running no more. Like we're already way ahead of the Dreamers. So we're just gonna walk up this hill. And then so we win that challenge and we go back to camp. Our camp was actually really cool. Everyone started getting firewood and everything together and trying to get a fire built. I found a snail, named him, I think, Frank. I can't remember what his name is now, but dropped Frank a couple times. And then I was just collecting bones and just helping everyone, trying to get to know everybody. Nobody was talking game strategy the first day, or at least I still don't think they was. But again, I was left out of a lot of things. I was in my own delusional little mind through the first 3 days. But yeah, camp life was pretty cool.
So Danny is letting us know that you were sitting next to Logan, in the holding area. He's the one with the tattoo. And then Michelle Anderson says hi.
Oh, that's my other sister.
So I'm curious, who stood out to you, and like, or there's anyone you're just like, you kind of felt like, oh, I think I want to work with this person.
So at first, I really wanted to work with Rafa because I wanted to use him for his muscles because
Mhm.
I don't have any. So I was like, all right, I'm going to use him for his muscles. But it was very clear he wasn't having that. He was just like, no, I really don't want to work with you. Like he played the game like he wanted to, but I just felt the vibe that he didn't want to. Aaron, I really liked Aaron. Aaron in the beginning, like he just seemed really sweet because he was really honest with all of us. But no, the first day there wasn't really much, like everyone was just kind of together.
Anyone else that you kind of looked at and said, man, I hope I can work with this person?
Um, Eric, because I wanted to like obviously stay around the stronger people. I really wanted to work with Larissa too, but she did not like me at all. But again, that's just because I wanted to stay around with the athletic people, just because I know in Survivor, those are the people that make it to the farthest until merge happens, and then they're the first ones that go out. So like I was just thinking strategy wise of who I
Mhm.
wanted to. If I think back to it now, like who I really, really wanted to work with, um, Jenna definitely, because I feel like with her mind, me and her could have made some crazy ass moves together. And Jude, just because Jude was hilarious, even though she didn't like me either, but I don't know, I just thought she would have been really fun to play with. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So
Anthony, Anthony, at first, I felt like he was holding himself back a lot, which his personality did come out like closer to the end before he got voted out. Um, it wasn't until like I think day 3 did I really want to start working with Anthony.
one thing you find at your campsite is there is a locked box. What were your thoughts on that, and what did you learn about that box as that day versus for that day goes on?
So for the lockbox, I didn't want to find the key to it because I knew something in there was going to be some type of advantage or something in there. And I was like, yeah, I don't want that pressure on me. I'm good because everyone always attacks people right in the beginning. If like you're really good or whatever, that's always the first people that gets attacked. And that's, or at least in my experience, with the 2 games that I've played. So I didn't want to find the key. So I wasn't looking for that. I didn't care about it. There was a lot of letters all over the trees and they were on the fire pit and stuff. So I was looking for those just in case we needed them later on in the game. And then Aaron ended up finding it inside of it. There was a crypto thing inside of it. Yeah. And then there was also food in there, which the food to me was the best part because I never find idols. So like I just don't really care about idols at this point. I'm just like I don't have the good luck for that. So that's another reason why I was glad that I started finding the letters. And then was telling Aaron as they went because he was actually really honest with a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm curious. Looking at this original tribe, my understanding is like the 2 people you end up forming the closest relationship to is Aaron and Eric. Is that the case?
Mhm. Yes, Aaron and Eric. I trusted Aaron more than I did Eric only because Eric wasn't ever always telling me the full truth, and I could tell he wasn't. He was just giving me the bare minimum, to where Aaron would tell me the truth most of the time.
How was that first night in the woods?
First night on the woods, to me, it was really cool. I mean, it sucked sleeping because there was like this big branch, and I'm already a bony ass person, so there was this like branch that was jabbing me in my back the whole night. So like that sucked. But I took my comfort outfit with me, and those things are amazing. So I dug everything out of our. They gave us this big like army bags, and I could
Mhm.
literally fit my entire body in that thing. So I used it as my sleeping bag, and then I used my bathing suit top as a pillow. So it wasn't that bad. And we had toilet paper, so like we used those as pillows. Me and who was sharing it with me? I think it was Eric. I think yeah, he was behind me, and then in the middle of the night he kept scooting, so our heads kept bumping. And then finally, like I just gave up on sharing the roll of toilet paper with him, and was just like, "Here, you can have it." Like I have my bathing suit top, so it is what it is.
I, all I could think of when I was watching your season is how jealous I was of your backpacks because my season we got like they were like a third of the size yours. I'm just like, wow, you can fit so much stuff in those sacks. I love that.
Yeah, they were great to sleep in, but to carry them, no, they sucked. They were just bulky. Like the thing was big as I was, so like it kind of sucked. And they were heavy because they let us bring a lot of shoes,
Mhm.
which I'm not complaining about because like obviously your feet get
Mhm.
wet a lot, but the shoes are freaking heavy, especially when they're soaked. So
So talk me through the second day. The second day, your tribe loses some, your tribe wins some, but this is, from my understanding, you don't feel well this day. Is that the case?
Yeah, so on the second day, I was sick as hell. I don't know why I got so sick, but I was lightheaded for most of the day. And like that's when I started to realize that the tribe did not care for me because not one person came over and asked if I was okay. I had slept, I think, like almost, God, it was like 8 hours or something like that. And no one came over to check on me, but when other people weren't feeling well, people were checking on them and stuff. And that was when my first clear indicator. I was like, oh, okay, these people don't like me. This is cool.
Mhm. And then was this? Do you know what you got sick with at the time, or just like it was just
No,
like
I actually got sick 3 or 4 times throughout the 8
wow?
days that I was there. Yeah, like, it was like every other day I was getting sick. It sucked.
I mean, so this is certainly the longest game you played. I think conditions wise, it's just also been the hardest game you played.
Yes. Condition wise, so like in Gettysburg, we did get hit with a really bad storm our first day there. And then long and behold, it happens the same time at Reelfoot, we get hit with a crazy ass storm. That one in Reelfoot was wild though, because like when it happened in Gettysburg, we were asleep when it happened,
Hmm.
to where in Reelfoot, like we were awake and it happened like 15 feet away from us when the tree fell
Hmm.
over and stuff. So like that was pretty intense, and then the entire camp just got flooded within minutes, and it was just like, shit, are they going to make us sleep in this? Because like there's just no way, we're going to lose every challenge. Like we're not going to be doers, we're going to be complainers. Like that's what's going to happen.
Thankfully, you get evacuated to new campsites.
Yeah, we got evacuated up this big ass hill that was completely out in the open. So like at that point you're just like, well, I hope no one comes walking this way because I really need to go use the bathroom, because you don't have like, you're pretty much in the open. Down at our old camp, we designated like behind this big ass tree our
Hmm.
bathroom area, to where up at the new camp we just had woods of jagger bushes and there was no like designated area, so you were just going wherever you could go. But it was really nice because it was out in the open and you could see a lot more and there was more chances to get berries and stuff.
How was that sumo and sea challenge for you? You go up against Mary Ellen while not playing
Girl,
well.
listen, okay. As soon as so that's probably one of my favorite clips that I watched before I went and played on Real Foot was the sumo. And I was just like telling everybody, I was like, y'all do not expect me to do anything unless there's someone the same size as me. Like I'm flying off of that. And so we get up on the platform and I look at her, I said, listen, I don't have a good shoulder. You're going to knock me off of this thing in 2 seconds. And she takes her little cushion thing and like puts it down on top of me, and I'm just like, yep, I'm going. Like I don't even have a chance to push up at all. And
Mhm.
sure enough, that's what happened. And like when I came home, my family were all making fun of me, and they're like, you didn't even last like 2.5 seconds. And I'm like, guys, I told you I was going to fly off of that. Like why did you expect anything different?
So the majority of that second day, you aren't feeling well. Are you feeling better at all by end of day two, or was it until like morning day three you're starting to kind of feel back into things?
I honestly, I really don't remember. It's been so long.
Which I apologize, that's
um
not my
no,
fault.
no, 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 that's not my, it's not your fault, because I also had to reschedule as well. um I know during the challenge, they had a drone above us. I can't remember what it's called now. I felt like shit. They had woke me up like 2 minutes before that challenge, and we were running around in circles. And I'm like, throw up if they don't make us stop doing this. And then on the sumo, no, I think I was feeling fine by the time we did sumo
Okay.
because we had one fruit at one point, and the sugar from that made me feel a lot better. I'm a junk food addict, so I'm pretty sure it was also just not having sugar. I was like having sugar withdrawals. That could have also made me sick. Who knows?
Um, I'm curious, during that second day, is anyone, you mentioned no one's really talking to you. So are you not, is no
Mhm.
one starting strategy talks with you, or you're just kind of like, I don't know what's happening and this is terrible? How are you, like, what's going through your mind
Um,
at that
we had formed like, I guess, fake alliances because originally I thought it was going to be, it was me, Eric, Rafa, and Larissa. I thought that was an alliance, but then after we did the drone challenge, I knew at that point that that was no longer a thing. Like that was fake because I tried to go talk to her and she was just like one wording me, and I'm like, okay, you're giving me the cold shoulder. Okay, so this
point?
is a lie. And then after that is when I really try to get closer with Eric. And then Aaron, we had a thing going on, but at that point I didn't really start trusting anyone because I was getting cold shoulders a lot and not getting told the truth. And Aaron had told everyone about him finding that idol at that point because I woke up and they all thought that I had it because I was the one that was sleeping and wasn't really caring about getting up and looking for all these letters, which I already knew what the word was in my head before I went to sleep. And I had told them that that's what it was and they had found it, whatever. But I got pissed off at that point because I'm like, damn, Aaron, you didn't tell me you told all these people. Like, I thought I was the only one that knew about it. And here you basically told everyone on the tribe, and the whole tribe's lying to each other about who knows what. And it's just like, all right, you're starting some shit, Aaron. I see you.
A couple other shout outs from Victor Sanchez saying hello.
Vito.
That's Vito. Okay, there we go. And
Yep.
then I guess Victor's first name. And then Ashley wants you to know that you flew off that board like an injured seal. So Ashley has your back here. So I'm curious. So end of day 2, can you rank the players in your tribe from most to least important to your game? And if ranking in order is too difficult, you can put tiers. You can do tiers as well.
If I can remember. So to my game, so obviously I wanted to make it as far as I could, which merge, that's the only thing I was more worried about because once you make it to merge, you can always form new alliances and stuff. You just have to make it to merge. So I knew Rafa was out, so I knew he was on the bottom. So it would have been Aaron just because I knew he had an idol, and then Eric because Eric wasn't really giving me the cold shoulder that much, even though I fully didn't trust him because he wasn't telling me like who was on the outs. And then Jenna, I didn't really get any type of vibes from her because she was a loner like I was. So I can't really rank her. Jude would have been on the bottom, and then Anthony would have probably been my third, just because Anthony, I could see his strategy in his mind, right? So I knew I wanted to also be with him, and then I would say Leah would be in the middle. Yeah. Jude and Larissa is on the end.
So I want to hear a little bit more about Jude, because you mentioned like, how the two of you get along when they're on the tribe together? And like, is it clashing? Is it cooperative? What's it like?
It was very, no, no, we talked and like, we would make comments to each other or something like that we liked about each other or whatever, but that was about it. You could tell that she didn't like me. So I was just like, all right, well, fine, then I don't fucking like you. I'm not going to sit here and try to like get your attention or whatever. Cause there's 8 other people on here. So, and she didn't like me afterwards either. I don't think she likes me now either. I don't know. We've never talked. So,
preseason, I did a cast assessment with production, and I knew the theme, but I didn't know who went on what tribe. And I remember from realizing, like, I'm pretty sure Sam is a doer. And I thought Joanne would also be a doer on your tribe as well. And it turns out I was wrong. Joanna was a dreamer. But I'm curious, had you started in the same tribe with Joe, would you two have gone along, or do you think you would have clashed?
I feel like me and Joe would have gotten along so well, and I'm so pissed off that we didn't get to work together. And I tried so hard not to get them to vote her out. And I think it was Danny that didn't go along with me. No, it wasn't Danny. No, it was
Julian.
The first time. Yeah, it was Julian. Julian wouldn't go along with it, and then Joe left, and I was pissed because I feel like me and Joe, we could have done some shit.
Okay.
I don't like girl alliances, but I like strong females. I love strong females, and I like to work with them. I don't like working with arrogant females. You can be strong, but you're arrogant, and I just don't like that. But Joe is a genuine, strong girl, and yeah, no, I love Joe, and I hate that we didn't get to work together.
So day 3, you win the first you win the first travel challenge. So you're not gonna be the first boot. And that's when you learn that there's a twist this season, the Eclipse Twist, where a player from the winning tribe will go to the loser tribe, strategize with them, and then grant immunity to one of those players, much like a hidden immunity idol. I imagine you have a love-hate relationship with this twist. So talk to me about your thoughts as you learned about it and how that changed over the course of the season.
So I love the Eclipse only because it kept me in the game.
Okay.
I hated the Eclipse because it painted a target on my back. It made the tribe hate me even fucking more. And it's just like, oh my God, you guys, this is like out of my control. I can't help that the blue team is choosing me every single time. It also pissed me off because we went over and we saved Julian because we could tell that they were treating him bad. And it's just like, y'all are doing the same shit to me. What do you mean? Like, you're being very contradicting right now. So like, that's the part I didn't like about it because it's just like, people were focusing on the wrong things with the Eclipse. I feel like a lot more crazier shit could have happened with it. But it worked out in my favor, so I can't really complain that much. I did tell, I don't know if it was aired or not, on day 3, I told Danny when he came over, do not play that on me. I'm done. If they want me gone, then they want me gone because like, this is just miserable how I'm being treated. So, take me out. Don't do it. And they didn't believe it. And I even told every single person on my tribe, I told him that. They're like, no, they're going to save you. And I'm like, okay. And he didn't. And yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that soon. But let's you have a long third day here because you go to 3 tribal councils, like back to back to back.
Yeah, that shit was
Right?
crazy.
So you lose the tug of war. Mary Ellen is eclipsed over to your tribe. And talk me through what happens here.
So they treated Mary Ellen like crap when she first came over. Me and Eric were sitting there talking, and Mary Ellen went to go come up and talk to us, and he was very rude and was just like, I don't really want to talk to you right now. Can you go away? And I was just like she walked away, and I was like, damn, Eric, like they're here to save me. Like, what are you doing right now? And that was him basically telling me, like, obviously everybody wanted me gone again. That was the first time he was actually being honest with me, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And then when I got to go talk to Mary Ellen, I just was honest. I was like, listen, I'm pretty sure it's going to be me, but I'm not going to sit here and pitch some sob story to you. I would really love to, if we make it to merge, for us to work together. I heard that you're really close with Danny and them over there, and I want to be close with them too, because I feel like I'd fit in more with the vibe with you guys. And that's pretty much the only pitch that I gave her. I didn't know that they had already decided over there that they were going to save me regardless of what anyone on my tribe had said. And that was the only pitch that I gave, because I was just like, well, I'm just going to be genuine. I'm not going to be some little begging person to please save me. And I think that's also when Will went. Is that when Will went?
So the first vote's gonna be Jude.
Jude? Okay. So then I went back to my tribe also, and I was just telling them, like, hey, Jude just now told us at the last minute that now she has this advantage. She never told us about it before. She knows someone else on production. She keeps saying she doesn't know anything that's going on, because at that point, I didn't trust Jude that she was actually telling the truth, that she's never played any of these games, just because of the warning signs that she was giving off that she had played these games and was just trying to lie about it. So I was also pitching that. It only worked for, I think, like 1 or 2 people. I can't remember, but
Vito says, I would have saved you with the clips over and over again.
Thank you, Vito.
Okay, so I guess, do you feel like this twist, because like your tribe can't easily vote you out first, right? They can't easily vote out anyone. And so do you feel like this helps open up the strategy for you when people are talking to you now as a result of you not unable to be an easy vote?
Yes and no. I don't remember what day it was, but I do remember Anthony coming up and telling me, like, hey, I told you I wasn't voting for you, and I really didn't vote for you, because I had gotten eclipsed on that one. I just don't remember what day it was. No, honestly, all the way up until the last day, I really didn't feel like anyone was like fully being honest with me, except for Aaron. And then obviously Danny was being honest with me, but I never felt close with anyone on this game, which is crazy, because like I've gotten close with other people on other games, but like this one, I never gotten really that like tied in with someone. They were all sneaky little shits. They were a bunch of little liars, man.
So you survived the first votes. Mary Ellen's going to give you immunity. It's going to be 5 votes Jude, 2 votes you, then a vote for Larissa, a vote for Will, and a vote for Jana. Catching 2 votes here. Surprise, no surprise. What are you feeling after this tribal council?
It was not actually a surprise. Like, it was a surprise that Mary Ellen gave me the eclipse, because I honestly thought that she was going to give it to Jude, because Jude was up her ass the entire time that she was there, like all the way walking to tribal, like she was up her ass pitching her case. But I felt like, to the other tribal people that I talked to about Jude, that I was able to manipulate my side of it, of why Jude should go and I shouldn't go, and why I wasn't a threat, because it was just like, guys, I'm like, she's lying, like, and who says we don't come to merge? And then she's got all these connections, because at that point, there was someone else on the Dreamers tribe that she had went to prom or something with their brother.
Logan.
Yes. So I was using that also, like, to kind of prove my point, like she's playing a harder game than what she's leading on. And I don't know. I was kind of confident in myself in that.
So you survive your first tribal council, and you're going right back because you lose the next challenge. Here, Shannon Eclipse is over, and ultimately, Will's going to be voted out. But what happens here for you? Because again, you catch votes, but are immune, but you catch votes.
Yes. So that one sucked. That's when I really knew that nobody liked me. Will, if Shannon wouldn't have close to me, I obviously would have went. Will stuck his foot in his mouth by getting really antsy thinking it was him, because at that point nobody was even talking about Will going home. It was majority on me. And then he started bouncing around, just going crazy, and then everyone got freaked out about that, and they were just like, okay, so Will's gonna go. That's pretty much how that happened. That just alone saved me. And then Shannon voting for me. So I love Shannon. Shannon did that because I think it was just because of us going against each other in the tug of war. And I think that was more of her just being proud of the fact that I still gave it my all, even though I had a really effed up shoulder. Like, I was not like just being like, oh, okay, here, just go, because I know I'm going to suck at this. Like, I literally tried to do it. And I think she was just doing it more out of respect, and she felt bad because at that point, I think my emotional level or my excitement about the game was really, really low, because I was just exiled so badly that I was like starting to internalize it. And I think she just felt for that and was just like, you know what? No, you're staying in.
From talking to some other people, it sounded like there was a thought that you had said, like, I want to lead this game. Like, there was some discussion that you had said that. Did you say anything
So
like that?
I did, but that wasn't because of how I was being treated. That was because there was one night that I got sick and my head, I don't know if you've ever had like sun poisoning before, but your head starts to, like, you can feel your brain swelling inside of your head, and it's like this big pulsating, and it's the worst migraine feeling that you can ever have. And I was literally in the tent by myself, like bawling my eyes out because I was in so much pain. And I got up and I went out and I was just like, hey guys, like, I might tap out because like I just don't feel good. Them treating me like shit. I think there was one moment I did say to somebody, like, I am so tired of being treated like this. I didn't pay this much money to come out and be exiled like this. Like, you guys aren't even giving me a fair chance. But that was more of me just expressing, like, you guys are fucking ignorant. Like, I think it was more of just that, not because I wanted to leave. The only time I actually wanted to leave the game was just because I felt like shit.
Finally, there's the Double Trouble Council that evening. All right, this is the gross food challenge. Eric from your tribe is going to win, and Vito from the other tribe is going to win, and there's going to be a whole other vote all over again. How are you feeling at this third tribal council? So ultimately, it's going to be pretty unanimous. Jana's going to go home. You're going to catch no votes. But talk me through this.
So I didn't catch any votes because they all thought that Danny was going to save me, even though I told them, or yeah, Vito was going to save. No, wait, what?
So this is your third tribal council. Vito is coming up to your tribe.
That's right. It was Vito. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It all runs together at this point.
No, you're fine. I have my cheat sheet open on the second screen. That makes my life so much easier.
Okay. So yeah, the food challenge. All right. So screw that challenge. The only reason why I didn't tap out of that challenge, because we did have two people that didn't play because they were vegan and vegetarian. I don't eat fish at all. And they were like, so Sam, like, why are you going to do it? I said, because I don't need another reason for you guys to call me a weakling. I can't remember who I had said that to, but I said it to like a couple people on my tribe. So I was like, I'm going to at least try. And that's why I only ate like 1.5 of them. And I was just like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. And I even told them that afterwards. And then Vito came over, and I think Vito, like, I'm trying to remember. I don't even know if I fully remember. I think he told me that he didn't tell me he was saving me. Honestly, I really don't remember. I honestly don't. Like, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. I remember Vito coming over. Who went home that night?
Jana.
Jana went home that night. I don't think I don't know. I don't think I was worried, just because they knew that they were gonna save me. So I think after that, I kind of like got arrogant with it.
Why about Jana?
Jana, so they voted Jana. Well, we all voted Jana, just because she was the next target of not being able to win challenges. They were taking off all the weaklings. And me and Jana talked, and I even told her, like, you know, I wish we, as weaklings of the group, would have gotten together and formed our own alliance and took them out, because then this wouldn't be happening to any of us, but it did happen. She just didn't really have any bonds with anybody. I don't think it was like anything she did personally, because she was really good at puzzles and stuff.
So in retrospect, looking at this original tribe, what would your dream alliance would have been? If you could form an alliance to take control of this tribe, what would it look like?
That's such a hard question to answer, because I didn't get to really like get close with anybody. So it's just a really hard question to answer. Like, I can answer that on the other 2 seasons I've played, but on this one, strategy wise, it would have been, if I'm trying to think like Who would have my dream tribe would have been, or who like all the way up to the end?
Your dream starting alliance on this yellow tribe.
Okay, it would have been Anthony, Jenna, Eric, and Rafa would have probably been the 5 that I would want.
I'm curious, so you talk about how, like, your other 2 games, you feel like you've walked out a lot stronger bonds or connections, but maybe not Reelfoot, which is kind of surprising. Reelfoot is a longer game. What do you think is the reason why?
I mean, we all have a great bond now. Did not during the game. I just feel like I was judged a lot more in Reelfoot than I was in the other one because Reelfoot's way more of an intense game, and because I'm a smoker, I don't know. It's the only time I've ever had anyone have a problem with it. But they judged me for that. And they were just way more challenge driven, because it was a team of jocks is what we all pretty much referred it to as a team of jocks. So they were very challenge driven, and because I suck at like endurance challenges, I just wasn't their vibe. I mean, I've accepted it. I think if I was stronger, then that probably wouldn't have been a problem.
So that night, Rafa is going to go for your tribe to some sort of event, and it turns out it's a tribe swap where Rafa and Logan are going to design a tribe swap. And congrats, your tribe is identical, but now you have Julian. So it's tribe swap, not really. It's really Julian is switching tribes. Everyone's kind of staying in their own tribe. What are your thoughts about this?
Honestly, I still don't even understand that, and I need to watch Rafa's explanation on what his thought process was on that, because I was for sure I was going to go to the other tribe. Because again, like I knew they didn't like me. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to the other tribe. And then he comes back and he's like, oh, we're getting Julian. And I'm just like, wait, I'm not packing my shit and going down there. Like, what? And we didn't talk any. So like, I still don't know to this day why he did that. Because I was for sure like, I'm going to be the one that goes.
Now, let's say you go and you get to design the tribe swap. What would you have done?
I would have moved my ass over to the Dreamers. That would have definitely have happened. Just because again, I just think I would have vibed with them a lot better. I would have had a way better like gaming experience, would have actually been able to play the game a lot more than just worried about going home all the damn time. And who was still there? I would have took with me probably Anthony, Aaron, and Eric.
Vito's agreeing that you're a dreamer all the way.
So.
So your new tribe is old yellow plus Julian. But I'm curious. Let's say before the tribe swap, your tribe had gone the tribal one more time. What do you think would have happened?
Who's still left?
So this is your tribe of Aaron, Anthony, Eric, Larissa, Leah, Rafa, and you. So if it's you 7 going to the tribal council together, what do you think would have happened?
I would have gone. I think if I wouldn't have gone, then it would have probably been Leah to go.
Mary Ellen is agreeing that you definitely would have had a better time with the Dreamers, though. She concurs.
There's more of my vibe.
So you have your old tribe plus Julian. Talk to me about Julian. What's it like meeting him?
Julian was really cool, except for he was also closed off because he was because he knew I was on the bottom, and then he was on the bottom of his tribe, so obviously he wanted to try to get one up on me, which he already had that, because like when he came over, they were already like coddling him and all this other shit. I'm just like, damn, y'all, I was sick for like 12 fucking hours yesterday. Not one person even checked on me to see if I had damn water. Like, and you guys are over here babying this kid. Like, I get that he's a kid, but like, this is life experience for him, and you guys are over here treating this grown person like freaking shit. So I didn't like Julian just because of that fact. And like the only time the kid would come and talk to me is right before tribal, and he'd be like, Sam, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, what are you gonna do? Why do you keep asking me this? Like, you don't talk to me at any other time other than before we're about to go to tribal.
So you lose the next media challenge, right? This is the idle hands competition, knock the things off the little platform, and you go to the tribal to people. Danny is the Eclipse player, so he is joining you. He's joining you in your tribe to give some immunity. Talk me through this. This is a big, crazy round with a lot of things happening. Ultimately, Larissa's voted out, but there are some tie votes that you're involved in. So talk me through the step-by-step what happens here.
That was like the craziest damn day. So I'm pissed off at this fucking point because I already know they're gonna choose Julian over me. And at that point, I'm just like, you know what? If y'all want me out, that's fine, but I'm going out with a fucking bang because I'm gonna show my ass at tribal. Like I'm gonna lose my damn shit if you guys want me gone. It's fine, it's whatever. So Danny comes over and I tell him everything that's going on and how they're treating me, and we're having our own little cry session. And this is the craziest part. Nobody at this point, I love you too. I love our cry sessions. Nobody at this point has figured out that me and Danny know each other. They just think that he is just, emotional because I'm emotional, which was kind of stupid on their part, but also great because then it worked out in my favor because they thought they knew he was going to put it on me. Even though I told them that I told him, don't play anything on me. They just didn't believe it, but that was wild. So I remember I was fed up at that point and Aaron came down to sit down and talk to me. And I think this one was actually aired and I didn't like lose my shit, but like you could feel my frustration because I'm just like, no, you guys are going to protect my feelings. Like we ain't playing this game anymore. We're done lying to Sam and being like, we're not doing this. It's stupid because Larissa was running the show at that point. I still don't understand why Larissa was running it. Maybe it's just because she has a strong personality and just kind of took that lead. To me, that's like a threat that I want gone because that was my idea in Gettysburg because whole nother story. Anyways, sorry, I told you I get sidetracked. So that's when I talked to Aaron, and then I think it was Leah was the next person that I talked to, and I said the same thing. Pretty much, I was like, look, after I'm gone, it's going to be you because Larissa's going to attack you next. So if we do not get her out this time, like you're going to go. And I think I said the same thing to Aaron and maybe Jana. I think I said the same thing to her
so Jana's gone at this point. So it's
okay.
Aaron,
There was someone
Anthony,
else.
Eric, Julian, Larissa, Leah, Rafa, and you.
Okay, so then it was Anthony that I had said it to. And I was just like, look, this is who I'm voting for, and this is why. And they were like, well, he's going to save you anyways. And so that's how that all went down. So Aaron was going to play his idol on me, but we go up to vote, and we come back, and they always ask, is there anyone that wants to play an idol? Well, they didn't ask it at this point, and they just started reading names. And I don't know if you guys can hear the audio in the tribal or not, but when we figure out that it's tied, Aaron's like, no, you were supposed to go home looking at Larissa. And I was just like, whoa, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, I was going to play my idol on you. And then they just started going at it with each other, and Larissa got pissed off. And yeah. So I kind of put that into motion, and Aaron helped finalize it.
So Aaron
it was like a duo.
Aaron had told you, hey, I'm going to play the idol on you, this tribal council, don't worry. And then he didn't.
He wasn't able to. Well, no, I honestly didn't believe it or like realize it until after he had made that statement. And then I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I do have someone. So like that restored a little bit of faith. Like, okay, I have someone on my side. I might actually, like, this might actually happen. She might actually go.
Eric and Julian say hi.
Hi.
All right. So then votes 3-3-2. All right, 3 votes you, 3 votes Larissa, 2 votes Julian. Do not count because Danny has protected Julian in this vote. What happens to the deadlock and the tiebreaker for you? Like, what are you doing? How are you persuading people to vote Larissa, not you?
I'm not. I sat there because I was just like, you know what? Screw this. Like, if you guys want me gone, you can. But like, I was a firm believer in me telling them like, hey, she is running this and you're going to be gone next and you're going to be gone next and then you're going to go and it's going to be them. So if you guys want to stay any longer in this game, you have my vote because I don't have an alliance with anyone on this team. So you guys always have my vote. And I think that's what persuaded Leah to go against Larissa and vote my way. And then Julian was doing whatever Leah wanted to do. So, because I mean, can you blame him? He was just transferred over and he was saved. So, he was just going to do what the majority wanted.
So how surprised were you that you survived this tribal council then?
I was extremely surprised because I still at that point, I didn't think that the votes were going to, like, I did not expect Eric, Rafa, and Anthony to flip on Larissa. No idea. How Aaron pulled that off just by him having that idol was like, he deserves an award alone for just that play. Because that was crazy. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have been the one that was gone. He pitched the case more than I did because I was just so emotionally tapped at that point that I don't think I really cared what was going to happen. It was just like, you guys are just going to keep taking me out. Like, woohoo, we're going to try to take Sam out. Woohoo, we're going to take Sam out. And it's just like so repetitive. It's just like, you ever see whack-a-mole? That's what I felt like. Like I was freaking whack-a-mole, and it was just getting whacked in the head every single time we went.
So Larissa goes out after a deadlock tie. What's the follow-up from this tribal council like for you?
So yeah, she went out from a deadlock tie because they didn't want to go to rocks, because they were told, like, if you guys can't make a decision, those two are saved and you guys are going to go to rocks. And everyone's like, yeah, we're not throwing our game for some rocks, except for Aaron. Aaron's like, I don't care, I'm going to go for rocks. I love Aaron. And then so that happens. We get back and the vibe's a little weird. Like, it's kind of quiet. But we all kind of like just sat there. And I can't remember. I think it was Rafa that said, like, it was somebody that said, like, wow, guys, like, this is a very chill, relaxing moment. And then I popped up and was like, oh, isn't it crazy? Like, guys, I'm actually a really cool person if you would just get to know me. And, you know, think about how much drama is now not here and how much complaining is not here and all of that. Like, so I think once that happened, I actually got to showcase, like, who I was. And then I was able to form, like, friendships and stuff.
So in this tribal council, right, it ends up being Julian, Aaron, Leah, and you together kind of are the group that votes out Larissa. Did you feel like coming out of this tribal council, did you feel like you had an alliance, or was things just very ad hoc still?
No, it's still ad hoc. I felt like I did have Aaron on my side for sure at that point. He was the only one that I felt that I could, like, actually trust. I feel like Leah and Julian only went along with that decision because they knew they were going to be next. And that's the only reason why that happened.
So had this group of people gone to tribal council together again, what would have happened, do you think?
Oh, Julian would have probably gone.
Really?
It even me or Julian, yeah. Just because he was going to be the next bottom.
So I assume whoever eclipses over is likely saving Julian.
Yeah.
So do you think everyone would just turn on you?
Yeah.
Because it seems like there's a world where you, Julian, Leah, and Aaron could work together and you could vote out Rafa or Anthony, perhaps.
Yes. Okay. So I always wanted to try to make those moves, but I was too afraid that everyone was on their sides because they were the muscle of the team and we still had challenges to do. And that's why I felt like I could never push that to get one of them gone, because they were the muscle.
But thankfully, you win the next two challenges, so you're
actually, so it didn't even matter. Well, and that's the craziest part. So Larissa had made the comment, "Oh, like, if you guys vote me out, you're not going to win another challenge," and they voted her out anyways. And then we won the next two challenges. So it was just like, "See, you guys, we got rid of the negativity, and we're having a great time." Crazy.
And you mentioned you're able to kind of start building some friendships with who?
It wasn't really like with who. Me and Eric definitely got a lot closer at that point. Me and Aaron would only check in a couple times throughout the day because we didn't want anyone to find out about us, like, trying to save each other and work together. I wish I would have had more time to work with Anthony, but I think at that point, Anthony kind of closed himself off a little bit because I think he might have been freaking out some. Rafa still didn't, like, really care for me at that point. So it was mainly just Eric and Aaron. Leah and Julian were really close with each other, so it was kind of hard to wedge myself in between that.
So at the end of that fourth day, you're going to have a tribe swap, your second tribe swap, right? And this time we're actually have a real tribe swap going on, right? The new tribe looks like, for you, you're switching to blue. It's going to be you, Leah, and Aaron, along with Julian, Mary Ellen, and Nay. But there's some things that go down here, right? Eric is going to break out both his mutiny advantages. So talk me through what happens here.
Yeah, so he gives it to Leah first. And I'm just like, so in my head, I'm like, yep, there's more going on than I'm not aware of, like normal. So that's, again, why I could never trust anyone to be like my number one, because they just kept showing me that they couldn't. And then he tries to give the second one, I think it was to Julian.
To Aaron, I think.
Oh, it was Aaron. That's right. And Aaron said no. And then he gave it to me. And I thought the game plan was that we were going to immediately go back over as soon as we were allowed to, but I was the only one that went back over. So then I was confused and was just like, yep, okay, so there's more going on behind the scenes than I'm aware of. And then we threw that challenge. Didn't know we were supposed to be throwing the challenge, which also pissed me off because I'm like, oh, once again, Sam doesn't know what the hell is going on. still just frustrates the shit out of me. Sorry. Emotions coming back up, little assholes. Because like obviously like I knew we wanted to get blue out, but like I thought we wanted to get like yellow strong, and the people that were on blue were actually people that we could have used to Vito, Joe, and Danny. We had made a really strong like alliance with. And like they didn't do any of that. And we could have just knocked out the rest of blue. But no, instead we throw the challenge and we let blue win, and then we go to tribal. And I wish Danny, Joe, and Vito would have came up to me and they would have said, hey, would you knock out Rafa, Eric, or Anthony? Yes. Yes, I would have. Because I didn't have a bond with them. They were lying to me the entire time, but none of them came up to me and said that before we went to tribal the next morning. So unfortunately, it was Joe that went. And I went along with the team because, again, I didn't have an alliance with anybody. So I was like, well, I'm going to go with the majority so I can keep playing. Like, oh, you always have my vote. And it sucks that that's the game I was forced to play.
Wow. So that's interesting because the way these next two tribal councils go out, yellow stays strong, and you kind of get your pick of who from blue you take out. Joanne first, and you tie it up between Vito and Danny, and Vito goes out on the revote. And so, I mean, ideally, it sounds like you would have liked none of those three to go home here, and instead you get to take out some people from original yellow.
Yeah, I didn't want to take any of them out. I wanted to take yellow out just because of how they treated me. When it came down to like who they were going to choose, I told them that I wasn't voting for Danny because he had was going to save me, and I told him not to. Obviously, I didn't want to tell them because we had played a game together. No one knew that at that point. So I just said it was because he was going to save me, and I told him not to save me. And I was like, and then I'm just going to go with whatever you guys decide to vote because I don't have a decision on either person. And they were like, oh, Joe, because, you know, she's a returning player. That's a great story. And I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So Joe goes out. Another challenge is thrown. You're going back to tribal council.
Didn't know about that one either.
And did you know that Mary Ellen, who Eclipse is over, she's going to choose between Danny and Vito? Did you know she was going to save Danny in this case?
Yes, I knew she was going to save Danny because when I pitched for Danny, I didn't know like her and Danny were that close because I don't think Danny did let me know. So yes, I did know Danny was going to be saved because I did know that Mary Ellen and Danny were close. So I wasn't like too worried about it. And then I told them like, guys, I'm not voting for Danny. I'm not. So that's why it unfortunately went to Vito. God, I cried my eyes out so bad. I think everyone cried when Vito got voted out. I think Prod was crying too. And like everyone bawled their eyes out to vote Vito out. It was a shitty game. I wish there was other people that we could have voted out, or that like they would have came to me and we could have flipped it on someone else. But unfortunately, it was yellow strong at that point, so I had to go with the majority.
And with that, you are making it to merge. How does it feel to have made it to merge in this game? Because this is a game where you've been under fire consistently.
So it felt great to make it to merge because I was like, fuck yes, I can actually make some moves and actually be with people. And then I think that's when the bring back challenge thing happened.
Redemption.
And redemption happened, and Joe and Courtney were back, and I was so excited that Joe was back. And I was wanting to get to her really quickly and be like, hey, you know, this is what happened, this is why you went, blah blah blah. And it sucks that she ended up going again. But I was excited for merch just so I could actually try to form an alliance with people and try to break up some things. At this point, I did actually feel a lot stronger with yellow, even though I knew they were still holding back for me and not telling me things. But because we were merging, I knew they would try to keep me as a number for them instead of letting me go and try to form another alliance. Because at this point, I do kind of understand of how people's minds work and how the game goes.
A couple questions. So, Joanne and Courtney returned to the game. Are those the two people you wanted to see come back, or is there someone else you'd like to have seen come back instead?
I just didn't want Larissa or Jude to come back. Okay. Those were the only two people I did not care about coming back. Larissa, definitely none of us wanted Larissa to come back because we knew that she was coming for our throats, for every single one of us, because we voted her out. So that was the one person we definitely didn't want to come back. And I definitely wanted to see Joe come back just because I never got to hang with Joe. And I just liked her vibe. Courtney, I didn't know anything about Courtney. Blue threw out a lot of it. Like when they would win challenge and stuff, they would overly showboat So like we were kind of just annoyed with anyone that was on blue. So we didn't really care about if any of them had come back because, you know, they were just kind of annoying.
So you mentioned there's two things you want to do come merge. Make new alliances and break some stuff up. So let's start with the make new alliances part. Who are you looking to start an alliance with or work with?
So at that point, I wanted an alliance with Joe. 100% want to win with Joe. I wanted one with Nay because I thought Nay was such a cool person. And I felt like we would have gotten along really well if we would have actually had a chance to. Like, I really wanted to get a lot of to know Blue, but then like once we did merge together, it was definitely divided. Like nobody was really trying to get connections with anyone. I think me and Joe did because we did sleep next to each other side by side. That was the worst night ever. Merge night freaking sucked sleeping wise, but those were kind of the people. But we actually didn't get back to our camp. It was late because we had I can't remember what challenge it was. We had some kind of challenge.
That was the PVC pipe. You're kind of balancing a ball together and like so. Once you drop, you go back to your camp.
Yes, and then there was one after another that went. Yeah. So we didn't really have much time to really get to know each other at Merge, because we did that challenge and then went straight there. We set up camp and then we all kind of just like laid down and went to bed. There wasn't really much going on because it was so late and we couldn't see shit.
So okay, so that was the start new stuff. What about the break things up? What were you saying? Like, yeah, this group or this alliance, I need to fracture it.
You got to elaborate some.
You mentioned you wanted to break some alliances up coming into merge.
I don't think I meant break them up.
I guess let me rephrase. Who did you want to target and vet out early in the merge?
I wanted Rafa to go. Like I did. Like I'm sorry, Rafa, I love you, but like you just didn't want to work with me, and it just made me mad that you never wanted to work with me that entire freaking time, unless you felt like you were on the bottom was the only time that you really wanted to work with me. So I really wanted Rafa to gone. At that point, I felt really close to Eric, because then he actually started like telling me the truth and stuff like that. Still didn't tell me the truth about all of his other secret alliances, but I felt like I could trust him somewhat at that point. And then I obviously wanted to get with Danny to see who his alliance was and to see if I was able to slide in with them, but also kind of stay under the radar. But then that's also when we found out that Courtney knew that we knew each other. So we obviously had to get to Courtney to make sure Courtney didn't tell everyone what she ended up telling everyone anyways. Yeah, and I think that's what had happened at that point. But yeah, I wanted Rafa to go.
So morning day 6, before at the tribal council, ultimately Joe was going to be one voted out, but you're going to cast a vote for Leah. So talk me through the strategy going in this tribal council and your decisions here.
I wanted Leah gone. Okay, so I do remember that. So I wanted Leah gone just because it made me really mad how much she was coddling Julian, and I never got like any type of anything from her. And it's the fact that you can see how someone else is treating and you're doing the exact same thing to that person is the only reason why I really wanted Leah gone. And I just didn't trust her because I felt like she was going to try to get in with the blue and try to get more numbers. And I kind of pitched that a couple times, so I remember. And I think that's why I ended up going Leah. Yeah.
So it ends up being a 6-5-1 vote, 6 votes on Joe, 5 votes on Leah, and 1 vote on Rafa. And so seeing Joe go out here, seeing Leah stay in the game, how are you feeling after this first tribal council?
I'm still pissed that Joe went first. I really wanted it to be Leah. And then I think Leah knew at that point that she was going, I think she went the next round, maybe.
She goes into, so it'll go Joe, Nay, then Leah.
Okay. God. So much stuff happens in them days. It's so hard to remember everything.
This is a long day 6.
Yeah, it was a long day 6. Honestly, I don't know why the rest of them went for Joe. I didn't go for Joe. I went for Leah, just because I wanted Leah gone at that point, and I really wanted to form an alliance with Joe, but I just couldn't get the numbers to help, which is crazy. I only needed 1 more, and I think it was Danny that voted Joe.
So no. Julian is going to flip.
Julian flips. That's right. Julian flips. Yeah, Julian. I don't know why you did that. I was dumb.
I mean, Julian.
I get it because he was with Leah at that point. Yeah. Leah really took him in, so I get it. but yeah, I don't remember the question. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm curious because you flip and vote for Leah. Who knew that you vote? Who knew that you tried to vote out Leah here? Or is that something you kind of kept secret?
I think I lied and I said
Okay.
that I voted for Joe, but I
Mhm.
honestly don't remember. But knowing me, I probably did lie just because I didn't want Yellow to know that I was flipping it like
Yep.
against them and voting her out. But I honestly, I really don't remember. I really
Uh,
don't.
yeah, Danny's mentioned like the key to that first vote was Aaron, and Aaron was just not willing to vote Leah at this point in time.
Oh, that's right. Why didn't he want to vote her? There was a reason why he didn't want to vote
Mhm.
her, and I do not remember what that reason was.
I've talked to him, but I don't remember the reason either.
Yeah, I don't remember that reason why. I think it's also, oh, no, I do remember. It's because him and Joe were the ones that were brought back from previous seasons, and he
Yep.
wanted to be the only one that made it through, and
Mhm.
that's why he went for Joe going instead of Leah because he wanted to use that as part of his story. I do remember that now, and I was just like, no, I'm sorry. I like Joe.
And it didn't help either that Nay threw a vote as well, so you could have tied it
I
up.
didn't know Nay threw her vote.
Yeah, she voted for Rafa.
What the fuck, Nay? Damn it.
And then Josh from production has a message for you.
Okay. You know what, Josh? I'm always struggling, and you're just going to accept it and get over it. All right. Oh, wait until I see him. We're going for fire, buddy. Beat your ass in fire.
All right, so final 11. Anthony's going to win his second immunity challenge. What are your thoughts on Anthony and him winning these opening immunity challenges?
It was annoying. Um, just because like Anthony's arrogance started to come out at that point.
Mm-hmm.
To where he was like really quiet in the beginning and then he started winning the immunity challenges. And so then we started seeing like how big of a threat he actually was. So that started to get a little scary. But it was also a good thing because then with Yellow having him having immunity, it still kept us Yellow strong because like weirdly enough in the other games I played, like once you merge, you merge. And this one, it still stayed divided like for
Mm-hmm.
most of the entire season. So it was beneficial that we kept getting Yellow to stay because I knew they weren't going to target me, that they wanted
Mm-hmm.
all Blue gone. And
Mm-hmm.
I would have been, once Blue would have been gone. So like at this point, once merge happened, I knew I was pretty much safe and I no longer had a target on my back because there was plenty of other people to have
Mm-hmm.
targets.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like in your at this like final 12, final 11, is your dream like, all right, I need only yellow at the end, or I need some mix of blue and yellow at the end? Like, are you yellow strong or still, or like you feel like you have no choice but to be yellow strong?
I had no choice but to be Yellow strong, unfortunately, because the only thing I had on Blue was Danny,
Mhm.
um, and Danny's one person amongst 5 other people on Blue, and I knew he wasn't, like, as strong with them. I knew he had Mary Ellen, but I didn't know how he was with Courtney because he said he was strong, but then Courtney went and told our business, so it's like, "You guys aren't that strong close together." And then Courtney was getting sloppy too with, like, her different alliances and stuff that she had going on. So yeah, I was forced to stay Yellow strong. I was forced to do a lot of stupid things in this damn game that I didn't want to do, and it was freaking ridiculous.
So at this next vote, it's going to be pretty unanimous that Nay goes home. Is that who you wanted to vote out?
No, I did not want to vote nay at
Mhm.
all. Who was I going to vote for? I can't remember who I was going to vote for. But no, I didn't want to vote for Nay. The only reason why I voted for Nay was because of how she was talking to Courtney.
Mhm.
She was like, I don't care if you have problems with anybody, bicker, fight, whatever, attack their gameplay, but
Yep.
don't attack them as a person. And that's
Mhm.
what Nay started to do. And that's why I flipped my vote. If Nay would have never done that and would have just stayed attacking her gameplay, then I would have been fine with it and I would have kept my mouth shut. But
Mhm.
like because of everything I'd already gone through them days, I was just like, no, you guys done fucking made Warrior Sam come out and I'm gonna attack anybody that keeps treating people like this. Like we're done. We're freaking adults. Like we're not children. Like why are we acting
Mhm.
like this? It's a freaking game. We're not winning $1 million. If you're winning $1 million, by all means, cat fight. Go for it. But like we're not. We're going home in like 3 days. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna vote Nate out. which I didn't want to, but like that just, I was like, no, we're not playing this game anymore. Shit's depressing. I want to have fun. Like, I want to be mischievous. I want to be backstabbing. I don't want to be mean. Like, that's just not fun.
Do you feel like you were able to be mischievous and backstabbing this game?
Not as much as I wanted to. There was a point that I tried to get Rafa out again, and I didn't have the numbers in my favor. And then, like, I'm sure you'll bring it up, and we'll talk about it then. But like, I tried to do some backstabbing things, and it just didn't work out. No, I didn't get to play anything that I wanted to play. Like in New York, I did a lot of backstabbing in New York. It was a lot of fun to do it, and it was a blast. And that's really what I wanted to do here. But no, I just had to do what everyone else wanted to do because it was the only way to keep my ass alive.
So, final 10, Rafa's going to win immunity. Ultimately, this vote's going to be on Leah. Can you talk me through how that happened for you?
I'm trying to remember. Why did Leah go? I think Leah was just the next obvious choice because of how close she got with Julian, and people did not like alliances. Like, your alliance could not be strong in this game because you were going. They were not big on alliances at all.
I'm curious. So there's a couple things that happened this round. One of the things is, Aaron at this point has 2 hidden immunity idols, right? What were your thoughts on hearing he had 2 idols, and was this good or bad for your game?
It was good for my game because I already knew that he would play an idol on me. So if I needed that again, I knew he would, especially because he had 2. It started to scare me a little bit, not because of like for my game, but for like his game, because I was afraid it was going to put a target on his back because he had 2 idols, but it never did, which is just weird. Like, nobody forced him to play them, to where like in my last game, I would force people to play their idols because, like, why not? Like, why are you letting, like, he had 1 idol, I think, for like 5 freaking days. And it's just like, nobody's forcing him to play this idol. Like, why? Like, go you, Aaron. Like, that's some great socializing game for you, but like, this is just crazy. And so like, to me, I started to get a little worried about that, but at the same time I was like, hell yeah, because me and Aaron were close, so it also was helping my game as well as him having that.
Now, Eric has also found an idol clue to the merged camp idol, and he's going to need your help with it around this point too.
Yeah. So production even asked me. So like, everyone was wondering why I didn't keep the idol for myself. So I always try to play a honest game. Like, out in the open, I want to be very honest. That way people think they can trust me. And then that way I'm able to do secret shit behind their back. It just makes it a lot easier, right? Because you think everyone trusts you. So that's why I gave Eric the idol after I climbed up on his back, and got the idol out of the tree, which, like, that shit was so cool because I think only like 2 or 3 people even seen that go down, and everybody was there. Like, everyone's off in their little groups and they're strategizing and stuff. And then here I am over in the distance climbing up on Eric's shoulders to get an idol out of the tree. And that made me feel like he actually trusted me. And then that's when I got included on his alliance with Rafa and Courtney. I believe that's who they were. Yeah. And Anthony. No, was Anthony in there? No, I don't think Anthony was in there at that point. So that also helped with that part of it. And then I just wanted to prove, like, hey, you can trust me. Like, I'm not going to be some asshole. And I think I even announced, like, hey, I'm handing this idol off to Eric, because intentionally, like, I'm the one that grabbed the idol. It was mine. But I just wanted to play the honest game so it could help my game.
But so was there a temptation to say, thank you for this idol, Eric, I'll see you later?
Yes, just because of how they freaking treated me, because I wanted to be petty fucking Patricia, but I tried not to be petty. And I was just like, no, we're not going to be a petty little asshole, because I'm like, they're just going to force me to play it anyways if I did that. And then the target's going to be back on me again. So it was just like, no, we're not going to, yeah, I'm sure the viewers would love this, but I don't want to be voted out just so you could have some entertainment for 2 minutes.
Now, in this round, there's votes for Leah, votes for Anthony, and votes for Aaron. Between Leah and Anthony, like, did you want Leah out more than Anthony as a target? If people approached you with it, did anyone approach you with a plan to vote Anthony?
I don't think anyone approached me to vote for Anthony. I think they all pretty much knew I wanted Leah gone.
Okay.
Me and Leah just were not vibing at that point. She just, yeah, we just didn't like each other at that point. Like, I remember we did a challenge and it was where we had to hold this stupid pipe. She went out first and I went out second. Yeah, because of a freaking bee, which was bullshit. Like, I shouldn't have been out because of a fucking bug. But anyways, I would have done great at that challenge too, because I did that one before New Year. So like I would have been good at that challenge. And we were sitting there and she won, I think, a candy bar or something like that. And I'm sitting next to her. She doesn't offer me a piece. Danny comes out next and then she offers Danny a piece of it. I'm just like, oh, you're such a bitch. Like, you were just such a little child and like, fuck you for even doing this. Like, you're just, that's so childish. Oh, I'm not going to offer you some chocolate. I'm going to offer someone else some. Like, grow up. Love her now. But like that moment, I was just like, no, fuck you, dude. You're acting immature. So I think everyone strongly knew I didn't want Leah in the game.
So Leah goes out, you're voting with the majority, and this comes up, we get to the next round, which is quite fun. This is the Bush Guide Trivia round. Now, you had received that Bush Guide Trivia book when you first started the game. Had you read it at all?
So there was at a point we kind of thought that there was going to be something involved with that. And we all quizzed ourselves. Like we all had to take a part in the back of it because it listed what the what stuff happened in each season. So we would remember what the players were that they talked about and then whatever it was that happened. And that's all that we really looked at. We did look at what edible plants there were, but no one really read the story. I think we did read it once the first night, like out loud, but nobody was really paying attention. It was just one person reading it. So we didn't really pay attention much to that book. So when that next challenge came, I was like, oh shit. Okay, well, we're just going to play the guessing game and hopefully we're good. I'm a very outdoorsy person, so like I knew I would have like the wilderness part of it down, but the rest of it, no.
So coming out of this challenge, how did you feel like you had a chance of winning, or just like, no, I did not win this thing?
Honestly, I felt pretty confident in my answers, and then when they told us how many we got right, I was like, damn, I fucking suck. Like, I was like, oh, here's another challenge Sam sucks at. Just one for the books.
So in this round, everyone's going to vote for Anthony. How did that happen for you? Why did you vote for Anthony here?
I got persuaded to vote for Anthony. And it was just because he had won those immunity challenges and then his arrogance started to come out and it wasn't like meshing well with the rest of us. We were just like, yeah, okay, you're getting a little too big for your britches. You gotta go. He kind of painted the target on his back himself. And then after that, I can't remember. He had the idol, right? I think that's how he got saved. He had an idol or something like that. I don't really remember.
So this is the round where immunity is granted after votes are cast. So the challenge immunity acts like a hidden immunity idol. So Anthony knows he did great, pretends he did terrible, and then kind of wins in this heads up runoff against Rafa, right?
That's right. And because Rafa cheated off of Anthony's paper and then they made that secret and Rafa let Anthony win the immunity. Okay, yeah, I do remember. And what was your question? Sorry.
Well, okay, I am going to take a small brief detour because Vito reminded me something that I should be asking you about, and I kind of forgot about it. So we'll return back to the Anthony Tribal Council momentarily, but
okay.
I have to ask you about killing the snake.
So my whole goal, snake, try to kill more than one, but it didn't work out. So my whole goal, I even did it during my interview. I told them that like, I just want to come out and I just want to kill something and eat it because I want that to be my audition tape for Naked and Afraid. That was my biggest goal. It was like, I don't care if I fucking win. I just want to come out and I want to kill something because this is the only game that I'd ever gotten to play where it's on private property and like, we're not camping right next to other people living their normal lives. So like I really wanted to hone in on the survivor experience and like, build shelter and do all of that because I love Naked and Afraid. So we were on our way to tribal of all things. And me and Anthony were walking together and he almost steps on the snake. And then so I realized that and I knew there was a machete at tribal. And so I start running to tribal. I'm like, I need the machete. There's a snake. And all of production already knew like I wanted to kill something. So Storm comes up and he gives me the machete and I go running back and I fucking chop its head off. And it was like the best experience in the world. I don't even think I paid attention in tribal because all I kept thinking about was my dead snake up the hill that I was going to drag back to camp and fucking cook. So we killed it, and travel's over. I don't even remember who got voted out because I was just thinking about my dead snake that whole time. And we get back up the hill, and the snake's still alive because its head was only hanging off halfway. So then I got to chop his head off some more. So it lay there tortured half the time. Come to find out, it's illegal to kill snakes in the state. So that's why the video got taken down very fastly. Because yeah. Yeah. So then I grabbed it by its tail and I dragged it all the way back to camp. And let me tell you guys, like, our camps were not close to anything. So dragged it back, and because this is before merge had happened, dragged it back to Antaku's camp, and we skinned it. And it is hard to skin a snake. Like, it's not as easy as they make it look like on TV. It is not. It took, first me and Eric tried it, and then we couldn't do it. So then Eric and Rafa did it. And it probably took a solid like 10, 15 minutes to get the skin off of this snake. We gutted it. We cooked it. We had won a container of seasonings previously in a challenge. So we loaded it up with every single seasoning that was in that container. There was like 6 different seasonings. And we fried it and we ate it. And it tastes like fish chicken. I only took 1 bite. Do not recommend snake. Yes, we did. It was gross. So yeah, don't recommend snake. However, Rafa and Eric actually sat there and ate all of it. Like, me and Danny were like, nah, all right, like, this is enough. We did our survivor thing. We ate some, like, we're good. But no, they sat there and ate all of it. They're like, no, it's protein. And at this point, Rafa's done ate like 6 night worms or night crawlers at this point. So like, I was just like, whatever, dude. Like, y'all go for it.
Okay, thank you. I'd forgotten to ask you about that, so thank you, Vito, for running, because I needed to hear that. That was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it was the best moment. Like, it was awesome. I loved it.
All right, so bouncing back a bit to the final 10, right? You mentioned that you were persuaded to vote for Anthony here. Who else were you thinking of voting for this round, if not Anthony?
Who was all left?
So final 10, so it's you, it's Aaron, Danny, Mary Ellen, Eric, Rafa, Courtney, Anthony, and Julian.
I want to say it would have been, I guess, probably Julian.
Okay.
Just because I didn't know, like, everyone was just dragging him along. And it was just like, he's going to win this game if we keep dragging him along.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that was probably it. But honestly, I can't really remember. I don't think I would have Anthony gone yet, though.
Okay, so you get the tribal council. You cast your vote for Anthony. And then Anthony wins the immunity. You wins the challenge in this runoff tiebreaker against Rafa and is immune. He's immune. Aaron plays an idol. Eric plays an idol, and no votes count. It's 8 votes Anthony, 1 vote Eric, and you are voting again. And there is a scramble.
I'm trying to remember. It's so hard. Okay, so yeah, I did vote for Anthony that round because I went with the majority rules. And then that, I think, is when I tried to get out. No.
You do vote for Rafa this round, so I think you do.
That is yes. So that was the round I tried to get Rafa out. And I didn't have the numbers because I was like, guys, this is the time that we could do it now. And I remember having the conversation with Danny, and I remember going up to Courtney and telling her, like, hey, if you want to get him out, we can get him out right now. Like, I'll have the numbers. We can do it. And she didn't want to do it yet. And then that's when Julian went home, right?
Yes.
Yes. So then that's when they went on Julian. And the coolest thing about that is Rafa didn't believe that I would vote him out. So like, we were walking back because I had to make sure like I was still good. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I know it was so-and-so that voted me out. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Obviously, like, I voted for Julian. He's like, yeah, I know you voted for Julian. And I was just like, okay, cool. So you got to try to play an honest game. That way people believe your bullshit.
Snyder saying he predicted you would win, and he was very happy to see you won Surviving Reelfoot.
Oh, thanks, Ben. Miss you. Ben is the producer of Gettysburg's Brother.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So this next round, right? This is the end of day 6. You had the immunity challenge where we were balancing a ball on a platform. And this is where Danny wins, but Anthony's going to collapse and get medically evacuated from the game as a result. And I'm curious, had Anthony not been pulled from the game, what would you have wanted to do here?
Anthony would have gone if he wouldn't have been pulled from the game because before, I think it was before, yeah, it was before that game, he pulled me, Eric, and Rafa to the side and went into this big long flip out. It was just like, if you guys take me out, I'm gonna make sure every single jury member doesn't vote for you, and I'm coming for you. And like was threatening us, like our gameplay and shit, and like it pissed me off because I'm like, dude, I don't let people control me in my life. Like you're not going to control my game either. So no, I think we still would have voted for Anthony afterwards because we were all kind of just like really put offish about that. Fuck that challenge. That challenge sucked. I couldn't get the damn fucking table up. Like, I don't understand how people were doing that, but no. Every single time I tried, it would just roll. And I'm just like, I know I'm straight. Like, this is something I should be able to do because it's not endurance. Like, this is bullshit. So screw that challenge. Don't ever have that one back, Reelfoot. But yeah, when Anthony passed out, that was actually really it was scary because like we knew it already happened once, but we didn't witness it. And then when it happened with Anthony, you trauma bond with people out when you're doing these games. You form these crazy bonds with strangers that some bonds you don't even have with people that you have at home that's been your friends for life. Like you can't really explain trauma bonding, but it broke my heart. Like I think I bawled my eyes out wondering if he was okay or anything. Which we knew he was okay, but I don't know, it's just scary. It sucked. Because he just like collapsed just out of nowhere. He was just walking and then he was just down. And it was just like, holy shit. And then we still had poor Danny and Mary Ellen still playing the game. And we're just like, shit, we can't stop because like they don't stop in Real Survivor. So why are we going to stop now? So it sucked for them because like we weren't really paying attention to what was going on in the game. We were all focused on what was happening with Anthony. Let's see. We put ice. Yeah, we had ice. I was rubbing ice on his forehead, and I think it was Courtney or somebody was rubbing ice on his belly. But yeah, it was a really scary moment.
So Anthony is pulled from the game, and that's kind of going to wrap up your 6th day. You are at the final 7 of Surviving Reelfoot. How are you feeling at this point?
So I was angry because Danny won and he got to choose people to go watch a movie. For 2 days prior to that, all I kept talking about is I wanted fucking popcorn. Like I was craving popcorn. I don't know why. I just wanted popcorn. So he gets to choose 3 people to go watch a movie with him, or 4 people. He chose Courtney, because I think, yeah, Courtney was still in the game at that point. Yeah, Courtney and Mary Ellen and Anthony, I believe. Well, Anthony was medevaced at that point, so he should have been allowed to choose another person, but they don't let him choose another person. And so, like, that pissed me off because I just really wanted fucking popcorn. But that same time, they also, production must have felt bad for us because, yeah, I'm getting there, Danny. They brought us food. And this was also kind of weird. So like they bring us food. They was tacos, like stuff to make tacos. And like we're halfway eating it. And then Danny, Courtney, and Mary Ellen come back and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, they said to share the food with, like, you guys share the food with us. And we're just like, well shit, like we've done ate a lot of it. So we were just like, why? Like this is just crazy. Like, why wouldn't they just feed you guys up there? And you're getting ready to have popcorn and snacks. Like, why are you guys like, why? So I remember that was going through our heads. And then we were also scared for them to go back down into the camp because we knew an idol was hidden. So we were afraid that they were going to go find it, which I don't think anyone found it until the next day or whatever. But so yeah, so they then ended up finally going to go watch their movie. We go to bed, we get up, and they saved us popcorn, and they brought us popcorn, and they brought us candy bars. So they snuck them in their pockets and brought them back to us. So like that was really cool of them to do.
So at the final 7, I'm curious, can you rank the players from most to least important? Actually, let me rephrase this. Who did you want to sit next to the end at this point? Looking at the other 6 players, did you have an ideal final 3?
No, I just want to make sure it was just me and Danny at the end. Because I just didn't trust people throughout the whole entire time. I just wanted it to be me and Danny at the end.
Okay, so you want Danny. The other seat is up for grabs. I guess, and so Courtney, Rafa, Eric, would you have been fine sitting next to them at the end?
No, Courtney would have won because of her coming back story. Rafa would have won just because I feel like he played jury management very well. I don't feel like he had very many enemies. And Eric, I kind of felt the same way because Eric took care of a lot of people, like with always getting firewood, just kind of being like the dad of the group. He was very open with a lot of people, told us some personal things about his life. So no, they were too much of a threat to me being able to win, like against my story. Like at the end of it, I wanted to go up against the strongest people to my story, not the strongest people that were going to beat my story. If that makes sense.
So day 7 arrives. You know there's another, I'm curious, you know there's likely another idol rehidden. Are you searching for it?
Yes. Ew, so this is so gross. So I was searching for an idol and I stepped in someone's poop and it was so gross. And I didn't realize it until we're sitting in tribal. And I don't know if you can see me or not, but I have my shoe off and I'm taking my water bottle and I'm literally washing my shoe in the middle of tribal. And I think I even got asked a question and I'm like, huh? Because like I wasn't paying attention at all. I was trying to get someone's human shit off my shoe. It was so gross. So like, because the third camp was literally in the open, like merge camp. It sucks. So you're sleeping on a hill. There's freaking branches and twigs everywhere, and then like there's a long path, like roadway that leads down to tribal, and then there's just an open field, and then you got like a row of trees. Well, the row of trees is where you have to go. You use your business. There's no leaves on these trees or anything to keep you covered. Like I know at one point I was shitting in the woods, and I hear production and another player coming down, and I literally yelled, guys, I'm trying to shit, do not come down this way, because like you're fully exposed no matter what you're doing. There's no tree to hide behind. So yeah, that third camp, it sucked ass. So yeah, I was cleaning human shit off of my shoes. So at that point I kind of gave up on looking for idols because I don't want to step in poop anymore.
Vito's claiming ownership.
Yeah. Thanks, Vito. So no, I kind of gave up on idols at that point because I've never really found an idol, and I'm just like, it's not my luck. Like I'm lucky I'm still even here right now. I have like horrible luck in life. I even have a 3-leaf clover tattooed on me to try to counteract the bad luck that happens, because I'm like a 4-leaf clover would probably just give me more bad luck instead of good luck. So yeah, no, I gave up on idol searching at that point.
So Mary Ellen's going to win immunity. And this is where it's going to be Courtney versus Rafa, right? It comes out to everyone that they play together Bluebird Survivor, and Courtney wants Rafa gone. Therefore, Rafa needs Courtney gone. And everything kind of implodes between the two of them. What are you thinking as all this is going down?
I think I remember I was very conflicted on which way to go, because obviously, like, I wanted Rafa out, but Courtney was doing some sketchy shit because like she didn't want him to go prior to that. So I was just like, can I really trust you? And then that's when we found out that she was telling everyone about me and Danny's relationship. So then that's also when me and Danny had to tell our relationship. So I was kind of holding, what's the word? I don't know what the word is, but I don't know. I was kind of being petty about it. So I don't remember I was holding a grudge. I don't remember who I voted for that round, but
you do vote for Courtney. But I'm curious, with the knowledge that you and Danny played with each other and have this relationship, what were those conversations like with other players? And did anything?
We downplayed that shit so good. I still don't understand. Like, I still don't get how anyone let me and Danny get to the end together. Like, I don't get it, because like any other game that I've played, when you find out people know each other, you get them out. You don't let them form that alliance, and they didn't. So we played it so well that we never really would talk with each other. The only time we would really talk with each other like alone was like right before tribal or something. That was more of just a check-in. And then when we told the story, we were like, hey guys, we seen each other the first day, and then the next day happened, we swapped, and then he was voted out. So like we never have formed a bond with each other. Like we don't talk to each other. We don't know anything that's going on. And we just played that very well. I to this day, I'm still in awe of our acting skills with that, because they had no freaking idea, and it was great. And we played it all the way up until the end. And I think now they know, but obviously
they should definitely know now.
Yeah, they should definitely know now. But yeah, no, it was so cool seeing Danny there and getting to do that experience with him, because he got robbed in New York of getting to actually play his game. So to see him to actually get to play, and he's grown so much from that game. It was really cool to be a ride or die with him at the end. Like, even though I believe, because we had talked, like, I think it was at Merge, or it was when he had come over for the eclipse. We had talked and we told each other, like, listen, if we have to vote each other out to save ourselves, do it. Like, don't have any second guessing. Do it if you have to do it. And then we ended up talking about that on, I think, Dave, on the final day. Me and him even talk about that with his shitty decision between me and Mary Ellen. And I even told him, like, yo, if you got to vote me out, then vote me out. If you see that I'm your bigger threat or whatever. And we just have that friendship. And that's like what a true alliance is. Like, you're going to do what you have to do at the end of the day to keep your ass in the game.
So it's a decision between Courtney and Rafa. You vote out Courtney just because I think you're more sketched out by her.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. It's all original. It's almost like it's back to yellow versus blues for this vote.
Yeah, it really was. Like I said, it stayed like that throughout almost the entire game. It was always just yellow against blue. And it was like, and it was outspoken too. Like, everyone would even talk about how it's always yellow against blue. I think me and Dan even at one point have a conversation. He's like, well, you're really yellow strong. And I was like, well, you're really blue strong. Like, there's not really much we can do about it because we have to, like, yeah, we can trust each other's word that you have our back, but at the end of the day, you can only trust yourself and the decisions that you're going to make. So, like, yeah, I wanted to believe him. Like, yeah, if I vote for blue, yeah, you're going to save me the whole time. Like, no, I have to go with the people that I know have my back right now. And he understood that, and I understood that he had to do the same thing. And I think that's why I went with Courtney instead, just so I could stay yellow strong with my numbers.
So Courtney goes out, and you have a reward challenge. This is touchy subjects. How is this for you?
Touchy subjects was fun. I'm probably like the only person that would ever say that.
Yeah, like, I hate it.
Yeah, I screwed it up like at the end. I forgot to answer it, not who I thought, it was who everyone thought. But no, I loved that game. I thought it was really fun. I know a lot of people are just like, oh my God, you think like that? Like, dude, it is what it is. Like, fuck, I got treated like shit for 3 days. Like, suck it up. But you're the stinkiest person. Like, get over it. Which Rafa actually handled that really well, being the stinkiest person. I'm very super proud of him because I probably would have been like, damn, everyone stay away from me. And he was just like, smell it, embrace it. And it was great. But yeah, no, that game was a lot of fun. Aaron ended up winning that game, and he got to choose 2 people to go with him on a reward challenge. A part of that reward was that we got letters from our loved ones. I knew it was either going to be my sister Ashley or my fiance, depending on whoever production could get a hold of first. I was so thankful that it was my fiance's, because like his letter helped me get my head back into the game. After that, like, it helped to boost my confidence, knowing that, like, oh, he is watching, he is rooting me on, because like, yeah, you hope your family's watching, but like, you know, you can expect everyone to be nerds like we are and want to watch people go play this game in the middle of the woods, right? Unless they're a nerd themselves. So that letter was really cool. I wish I could, like, I wouldn't say I necessarily needed it. Like, I definitely needed it for the help of boost of confidence, but I also felt like there was other people that could have also used the letter. But I also didn't want to give up the chance to go to the store and leave, because I'd never won, like, we didn't win any awards where we could leave the camp. Blue kept winning those. Ours was, we got pizza and beer one time. The beer was freaking amazing though. Let me tell y'all, if you ever go down to Reelfoot, get that beer. It was so good. But yeah, that challenge was really cool. We had to sing.
So talk to me about the store experience.
Yeah, so the store was really cool. So come to find out, in Reelfoot, like, that whole community loves the show. Like, they are dedicated to that show. They all know what's going on. So we go to this little cool little like mom and pop convenience store, and we're walking around. It was pricey as hell. We only got $40 to spend. And Aaron has don't yell at me if I screw this up, Aaron, but I think he has a gluten allergy and there's another allergy he has. I don't remember what it is, but so it prevents him from being able to eat a lot of things. All I wanted was an ice cream sandwich. I was craving an ice cream sandwich. I got an ice cream sandwich, and I cried over my ice cream sandwich. I did. I bawled like a baby, but it was so good. Eric got this like $7 tub of flippin' ice cream, and like, I was annoyed with it because like, we had already talked on the way there how we were just going to get a bunch of food for everybody. Like, we asked them what they wanted to drink, like what was everyone's like go to. Like, Aaron was bringing amazing. Yep, gluten free. Okay. Aaron was being amazing with like just sharing the award with everybody, right? And then you've got Eric, who wants to go spend the most money on one thing for his damn self that he ate in the store before we even paid for it. So we go through the store and we're trying to pick out like what's the cheapest and stuff. And Aaron's being so generous. And I'm like, no, screw this, Aaron. Like, we need to find shit for you. Like, screw the rest of us, dude. Like, this is your game. And he was just being such a sweetheart. We found him some Vienna sausages. We got some like ramen noodles. Well, then the lady behind the counter was like, hey, if you guys sing me a song, I'll give you all this extra hot food. And it was like these steak sandwiches, and there was JoJo's, which for no one who knows what JoJo's are, they're like potato wedges, and there was enchiladas in there. And we couldn't think of a song. Like, I was in the middle and Aaron was on one side of me, Eric was on the other, and we're just staring at each other. We're all different ages. And I'm like, do you guys know the Spice Girls? And they're just like, no. And I'm just like, oh, we suck. So we started singing We Are the Champions. I mean, we should have probably did the national anthem or something. It probably would have sounded a lot better. I haven't watched it. I don't want to watch it because I know we sound like shit because I felt like shit.
It's pretty funny.
Is it?
Vito wants to know if you can sing it right now for us.
No, your girl can't sing. No. We ain't got no auto-tune up in here. I'm good.
Your sister says she did write you a letter. You didn't get it, but sounds like you didn't want it anyways. You'll hear about this later.
I will too.
Yeah, so you walk out with a ton of food to go back to camp with. It's kind of incredible.
We killed it. Yeah, we killed it on that food. I think that was the first time any of us ever like really felt full. And here's the craziest part. So we go back and we're eating all these sandwiches and all this junk food, and then they come up and they're like, hey guys, it's time for a challenge. And we're just like, oh my God. Like, this is the first time any of us ate in like 6 days. We're all going to probably have to poop here in like the next hour. And you want us to go do a challenge, and it's hot as hell. All right, cool.
So at this challenge, it's the you will go around where you're moving the ball in the circle, and Mary Ellen's going to win her second immunity challenge this way. Yeah, and so what happens after that?
So I got taken out by a bug again. I don't know how. So, like, here's the craziest part. All right. So everyone got ate up by mosquitoes. I had like bug crack, I guess, because I only had 2 bites the entire season. 2 bug bites. That was it. Everyone else, like, their arms were tore up. They looked crazy. And I get taken out by bugs on challenges, but not while I'm sleeping. Like, that just, it's annoying as hell. So that pissed me off because that could have been a challenge I was actually good at, because I've actually practiced that challenge when I did a production year. So I was mad about that. And then what did she win? The immunity?
Just won immunity, yeah.
Yeah, and then who went out that round?
So this is where it's gonna be a 4-1-1, 4 votes on Rafa, 1 vote Eric, and then Rafa votes for you in this case. Now, this is also the round where Eric is gonna give Aaron an idol during tribal council too.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I finally got my win on Rafa to go. That was actually pretty easy because I think Danny had pitched it, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I've been wanting him to go for rounds. And then everyone was just on board with Rafa going, because at this point, like, everyone knew that the stronger people were going to go, because we had a secret alliance too of the outcasts. So it was all of us weaker people. And we eventually, once we had enough numbers, we were going to get the stronger people out. So Rafa and Eric were always going to be the next ones that were going to go, just because they were a lot stronger in challenges than us, and a lot more of the jury liked them than we felt like they liked us.
Talking about this Outcast Alliance, when did it form, and who was in it?
The Outcast Alliance, I think it was like the final 10 of us. I think it was the final 10. It was me, Danny, Mary Ellen, Aaron, and I think Courtney. I think Courtney was in it, but it wasn't like that strong of an alliance. It was more of, we need to keep the numbers strong on our end. It wasn't more of like we all strategized together, because everyone still had their own secret, like, single alliances that they had. There were so many different alliances going on. Like, I think there's at one point I'm doing a confessional and I was like, guys, at this point I'm in an alliance with everybody, and I went from not being in an alliance with nobody and now I'm in an alliance with everybody. And that's just how crazy this freaking game is, because like, it really is. Because if you're a number, you're in a great spot as long as you can keep yourself as a number and not as a target.
You know, one person we haven't really talked about that much is Mary Ellen. What's it been like playing with her? Because you go kind of consistently with her through a good chunk of the game.
Yeah, I really liked Mary Ellen. Most sweetest person you will ever meet and the most loyalist person you would ever meet. Because there was at one point in my head, I was even thinking like, hey, all right, what if I can get Mary Ellen on my side to help me take out some more blue people? But then I knew that she was so loyal to Danny and she was going to be so much loyaler to blue that I couldn't pull her over on Yellow Tribe because there was a lot of us that even talked about it. But she's just a very loyal person. Um, I know Danny thinks that Mary Ellen could beat me in fire making challenge, and that was like also one of the reasons why we didn't go because then he knew that me and Aaron would have made him go or whatever. I need a chance to do this because I honestly believe that I would beat Mary Ellen in fire making. I don't think they ever aired it, but there was like every time we went to back to camp and we would make fire, everyone would be struggling. I'd have it lit in like 2 or 3 seconds. I'm really good at making fire. I've been camping my entire life. I love making fire. I even sent my video of me making fire in like 2 seconds to production before I even got casted and was like, see, look, I'll even give you a showdown during this. Um, yes, and I go ahead.
Yeah, Danny's saying I was nervous. I didn't want to bet on you beating Mary Ellen Fire, which I can't blame him.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, I am talking to Mary Ellen tomorrow. If you want to tune in, because I will be asking her this question towards the interview: could you have beaten Sam and Fire? And we'll see what Mary Ellen thinks about this. Could be
We're gonna have
really
to.
put you both on two little Zoom cameras, see who can do it first. But then we'll know.
Aaron said Sam would have beaten Mary Ellen. Danny wasn't there during Intaku's initial fire making, but yeah. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, I'm actually really good at making fire. Camp life, I'm great at. Like, we'll survive for years as long as we just stay out in the woods. But you go throw it in them challenges, and it's just like, yeah, Sam's out.
So Final six, Rafa's voted out. Final five, we kind of talked about this. You win the immunity challenge station by station where you have to run to all the different, do the different tasks.
Yeah.
What's it feel like to be immune at a tribal council?
So it feels amazing to be immune at Tribal Council. It also felt amazing to win an immunity of a challenge that had multiple stations and it wasn't just like one thing. Because a lot of them, like once we went to merge, it was just like one like challenge that you would do. There wasn't like a lot of group things that you would do. So to win the one that was a group thing, and I thought I was like far behind because I wasn't really paying attention. So I knew I was going to make the basketball one because I'm actually really good at aim and stuff like that. And then I ran over and there was matchsticks there. And I was like, yeah, no, screw that. My brain does not like to count like that. So we'll come back to that one. And then so then I went over, I think it was to the answering the questions. The answering the questions. So I basically just did process of elimination. I remembered some of the story, but I couldn't remember a lot of it. And like how the questions were asked, one question would answer another question just by how they were worded. So like I kind of did that. The first time I got it wrong, and it was because the second one was B instead of A or something like that. And then the second time I got it right. And I feel bad because I hid my paper underneath my board and I ran past Eric and he was like, what is it? And I was like, you know what? Fuck all you guys. Like, I'm not giving you a chance to win because none of you giving me a damn chance. And then I remember hearing, I think it was Josh yell that we could leave because you had to build a tower and it had to be taller than a pole, that your pieces could lean against the tower. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I got this. I don't have to keep running back and forth because I'd counted Danny's pieces on how many pieces Danny had because he built his tower first before he knocked it over. And I was like, all right, I'm still 7 pieces away. If there's no way I can run back and forth 7 more times. I'm going to freaking die. So once I heard him that you can build it, I was just like, all right, I'm going to do it like that. And then I stacked my pieces up against it, won that. And then I'm standing there on the board and Josh was like, well, you still have to go do that. And I was like, no, I already did it. And the matchsticks. So the matchsticks was really cool. So I knew I couldn't count the matchsticks. So I was just like, all right, 100 matchsticks come in a box. I'm just going to keep knocking it down by 2 until I get to 90. And then I'll start over and then I'll just do it by 3. And I did it by 2 and that was right. So then I'm standing there and Josh was like, you have to go do this. And I was like, I already did it. Here's my coins. He's like, oh, Sam won. And I was like, oh, fuck no, I won. Like I was in awe. Like it didn't even dawn on me until probably like we were walking back and like, I don't know. It was crazy. I won. It's still crazy to me that I won an immunity. So.
And then you kind of already talked about you wanted to vote out Eric because this thing by the end would have been a very hard time to beat him.
Yeah.
So that brings you to the final four. At the final four, Aaron's going to win immunity. And that leaves you really just two options, Danny or Mary Ellen. And it doesn't sound at this point you're ever voting Danny out. And so you're going to vote Mary Ellen, and Mary Ellen is pitching you. What's that like?
I knew Mary Ellen was going to pitch me, obviously. It was between us two, because obviously Erin couldn't be a factor, and she was really close with Danny. I'm honestly surprised Mary Ellen didn't try to come to me to try to like persuade me not to vote for Danny, because normally people will do that, but neither one of us did that. We just knew it was going to be us or the other. So like, that's why I just told Danny, I was just like, listen, if you vote me out, you vote me out. It was great to make it all the way to the end like this with you. However, like, you know, she has no enemies, none whatsoever on jury, to where I'm extremely hated. I said Nay was taken out second, and like I flipped out on Nay and tribal. So like I already know she hates me. Like all of jury hates me. So like I'm literally not a threat to your game, because at that point I truly believed that every single jury person didn't like me, just because like that, when you're treated like that, exiled, it's really hard to get out of that mentality. No matter how much people prove to you like, hey, you know, we don't think of you like this anymore. It's really hard to get out of that mentality. And that's just how I stayed in it the entire time. It was just like, I can't trust not one single person here, because none of you like me and you're all being fake to my face.
So were you surprised that it wasn't tied at tribal council?
I was, because I really thought we were going to go to fire. In my head, I was down to go to fire. I was just like, all right, screw it. Let's go. This is what I live for. This is my element. Like I can show that I'm actually good at something, but we didn't. Which, I mean, I'm glad that we didn't, because Mary Ellen would have won, just because everyone on jury loved them. And like, that was a bitter jury. Like, yes, they all would say, I want to see big moves, and I want to see you do this. But anytime we did it to y'all, like it was a big freaking problem. So it was a very bitter jury. I
mean, one would say bitter in your favor.
It definitely went in my favor. So like, I'm not mad about it, but yeah, that was a crazy jury. It was definitely a crazy jury.
Yeah. So let's talk about you in the final three, then let's talk about the jury. So you're in the final three. How are you feeling going into that final tribal council?
So after the final challenge, I got sick as hell. So we were walking back from that challenge, and you have to walk across, like you have to go up a hill, down a hill, across a field, down another hill, and then you got to walk through tribal and then up this like dirt path to get to where our campsite was. We hit tribal, and like I started to get tunnel vision and got really lightheaded. And this was still final four. So yeah, Mary Ellen carried me back. So I was feeling like shit. And then, because we still did, that was all on the same day, right?
Yeah. So you have the final
Yeah,
five
we have
voted out. You have the last night, then final four challenge, final three challenge, final tribal council is your last day.
Yeah. So we did the final thing. Yeah. So I got sick as shit right after that challenge, and we voted Mary Ellen out, and then we go back and we take a nap, because I still felt like shit. I slept for probably like 2 hours. And they had to bring me a popsicle and a Gatorade, because like I just was not able to get up. Like there was just no way. I was sick as shit. So like that really sucks, because I was like, damn, am I about to get medevaced for like right before we go into tribal? But thankfully that didn't happen. I was nervous just because I don't know, like I just didn't feel like people liked me. It was a crazy feeling.
So looking at your two competitors, Danny or Aaron, who are you more worried about?
Both, honestly. I was conflicted with both, just because Aaron had such a great story with coming back from, you know, his previous season. He got robbed from that season. He was like the first vote out, I think, of his season. How many idols he won. He was literally like the freaking idol king out there, finding them all. And then he also like had won, you know, the final immunity. So he had that story going for him. And then Danny, he was able to manipulate a lot of things that happened in the game, and like he was able to persuade a lot of people's votes and get them to vote like what he thought was better for his game. So I see them both as a threat. Like I'm honestly like, I had winner's remorse afterwards, because I really did not believe that I had won, like, because I don't know, it was just, I just didn't think they liked me. So it's just like, there's no way they all just voted for me. There's just no freaking way, because I honestly believed that every single jury member hated me but Eric.
So going in the final tribal council, what did you say your win percent chance was?
Like 15. I thought that like I might have like maybe 2 or 3 people vote for me out of sympathy, but I honestly didn't think I was gonna have many. So like before we went, before I laid down and took my nap because I got sick as shit, I had this big speech in my head. I was like, all right, what's the definition of survivor? And then I was just gonna go into it and all the bullshit that they made me go through and all of that. And then when I woke up, I still wasn't feeling good. And we go to tribal, and in the middle of tribal, there's a part where I turned to the side, and it's because I was literally throwing up in my mouth and I was swallowing it because I didn't want to throw up in front of everybody. So like that whole entire, I loved my speech, but I had such a better speech because I was going to fight tooth or fucking nail just because I knew the 2 people sitting next to me, if I wouldn't have a strong story, they were going to beat me. Just because their story was going to be way better than mine. So I had to be way more convincing than they were.
So talk me through that final tribal council and what your perceptions of the jury and what they think of you. Does it change at all as FTC continues?
No. So I was worried because at one point Nate didn't ask me a question. She was like, my question's only for you 2. And like with my experience, usually like the juries will stay together instead of having their own opinion. It's like their own little tribe, and they like, you know, they all vote together. So like I thought that's what was happening is, all right, cool. Here's another game where I'm getting freaking votes because of something stupid. They're going to vote for one of these guys. And obviously that didn't happen. And then just kind of the questions that they were asking me, I didn't feel like they were just right questions. Like I felt like I should have been asked a lot tougher questions than what I was asked. I think Julian was the only one that actually gave me like a stumped question when he was like, you know, why did you want to go home? And I was just like, I wasn't. And instead of, I should have pitched myself on what the reason why and not. It wasn't until we got back, like until like it was finally over and we were like heading back up to like go shower, and we were going to go to finale, and I was sitting there in the shower and I was just like, I think I just did that. And I was just like, I think I won that. Because like it was my final speech. So I give Eric a lot of thanks to that, because he told me to stand up when he was asking me my question, and he wanted me to stand up during my answer. And I feel like that helped me regain my confidence, because I didn't want to use me being sick as an excuse on like for them, like a sympathy vote or I didn't want a sympathy vote or anything like that. So like, that's why this, like when I actually gave my final speech, I stood up and was just like, you know what? No, you guys are going to know what you put me through and what I had to fight through, and fuck this, because I deserve this win just from having to deal with that. Like I came out here with a fucking injury, and I pushed past my injury and did all this other shit that I wasn't supposed to do. And I dealt with all the bullshit that you guys put me through and all the ridicule and whatever it was. And I fucking outbeat every single one of you. So, yeah.
So you get to the after party and the votes are revealed, and you win in a, let's see, I think it's 910 votes. You get 9 votes, Eric gets 1 vote, and Danny gets 0 votes. What are your feelings at this moment as you kind of learn that you did it?
So I was in shock. I was in absolutely shock because I didn't think I was going to have everyone's votes. I thought I got the majority of the votes. And then Julian said that he voted for Aaron because, for reasons. And I still to this day can't believe that I got everyone's vote, because I never thought I would have got Nate's vote. 100% never thought I would have got Nate's vote or Leah's vote. Never thought that was going to happen in like forever. I felt like it was all going to be like split between at least me and Aaron, or it was going to be me and Danny. I didn't think it was going to be like all 3 of us getting votes, but I did think it was going to be like a split kind of between 2 of us. And I'm still in awe over that. I have them sitting, they're like all sitting like right there on that shelf with all the rest of my Survivor stuff. And I don't know, it just, it's still crazy to this day. Like I wouldn't say I don't have winner's remorse anymore, because like now that I think about it, I'm just like, you know what? No, you guys literally made me fucking survive out there, like mentally, physically, emotionally. Like y'all put me through the fucking ringer. I deserved to win that shit. But in the beginning, like it was kind of hard for me to accept it, just because of how exiled and belittled I was in the beginning of the game. And then like you also add in, so like with Reelfoot, you don't get fed at all. Like you get like some challenges where you get to eat, but like, yeah, I'm small, but I have a really high metabolism. So like my energy is gone within minutes, because like I burn up so much. And when you're not bringing in those calories, like it messes with your emotions. And I'm already a second guessing person. So like I second guess every little thing. So every single time I try to make a decision or I try to do this, it was really hard for me to actually make a decision, because they were also like taking choices from me and not letting me make decisions. So like that entire freaking game, no, I deserve to win that shit because of the amount of torture that freaking game puts you through. Like it is literally the best experience you could ever witness in your life. Like if you want to grow as a person, go play Reelfoot, because like it will make you grow as a person. Like it's crazy.
So you mentioned that, in game, like you didn't really maybe form those relationships with the players, but certainly post game you've built friendships with the players in your season.
Yes. So like we have a group chat. We're all like very supportive of each other, and we root each other on, and I don't know, it's like really cool. Like during the game you hate the shit out of each other, and like you say some really fucked up things about each other because like you're mad and stuff. But after the game you realize it's just a game, and you start to form bonds with people.
So what has been your takeaway from the experience?
My takeaway from the experience is that I need to stop second guessing my damn self so much. I'm actually a more strong-willed person than I give myself credit for. I also took away that like just because of how people are or how they're perceived to be isn't who they actually are. Like Anthony, at first, I thought he was just like, some nerdy guy out here to play. No, Anthony is a fucking vicious beast. Like, holy shit. I wish I could have like seen that side of him in the beginning, because I feel like me and him, I wish I was given the opportunity for these people to see who I actually am, like in a gameplay mode, because like I'm very, I can be very malicious and sneaky. And I feel like me and Anthony would have made like such a power duo, being able to do that, because like I'm always the underestimated queen. In every game I play, I'm the underestimated queen. Like I am so freaking used to it at this point. And we could have used that to our advantage to really make some crazy ass shit go down in the game. So it kind of sucks that me and him never got that chance to do that. And it's like that with a lot of people. And it also taught me to stop playing the underestimated person in every game that I go play. Because it'll backfire on you sometimes, because on this time, let me tell you, it didn't help out that great.
Well, are you even going to be able to pull that off now that you've won a season? People are like, how can people underestimate you? You're a winner.
I know, right? I am nervous about that, so like I don't know if I'm gonna apply to any games next year, just because like I'm like, oh no. This might, just because I also know that I have a lot of haters like in the LRG community, just because I'm not a huge gung-ho Survivor fan, and a lot of people,
their problem.
I know it's their problem, and I know a lot of people hate that. So like that also makes me like, that fuels my fire to want to do it, because it's just like, oh, here's something I could be arrogant about. And kind of like,
you are allowed to be a fan of LRG Survivors without needing to be a fan of the TV show. Generally, they go together, but they don't have to at all.
See, and you're like, as people say that, but like the people, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think you're allowed. The LRG community isn't down for it.
Well, the answer is to go beat them at those games too.
I know, right? I don't know. So it scares me, especially because like, so I'm one of 4 females, one of 3 females that have played. Or one of 3 females that have won Survivor.
Angela, and you are female players who have won Reelfoot.
Yeah, so like that's kind of that also kind of puts a target on your back, and I don't know how many people watch like Reelfoot, so it's just like I don't know.
Okay, Angela.
It's second guessing.
Angela played 2 seasons back to back, Reelfoot, and I believe survived and won both those seasons. So
really,
so it is possible. And if you ever find her final tribal council speech, she basically says, "Do not hold the fact that I'm a former winner against me at this moment. Evaluate me on how I played at this game at this point in time. So boss move from there. So it's doable, hard but doable.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to wait until next year and find out if I play another one or not, I guess.
Is Ashley going to be in a game someday? Should we expect to see her play?
So I want to get her to play. I feel like Ashley would do so good at these games because she is hilarious. She knows nothing about Survivor, but she watches the other reality stuff like the challenge and things like that. But I feel like her social game would be so entertaining for the community. She would win like all the games that she played just because she's socially entertaining. And no one would want to vote her out because they're like, no, like she's too entertaining for us to vote out.
Reelfoot 16, maybe?
Maybe. I hope I can talk her into it. It would be freaking amazing to talk her into it. She will have a lot of fun with it.
So much fun. Sam had the time of her life. You should do it. Yeah. And give them the dark side.
Yeah, I've been trying to get her. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully.
Sam, is there anything else about your experience or your time in Reelfoot you want to talk about that we haven't maybe had a chance to dig into?
I mean, probably. My brain's all over the place. With Reelfoot teaches you so many things. It's crazy. I'm sure there probably is, but I can't think of it right now. And unfortunately, this is the only one we're doing. I should have wrote myself like little notes of like what I wanted to talk about because,
Well, afterwards, if you're like, I need a second podcast, let me know and we can do a follow-up. Just like the list of things like, oh, I should have said it then. Happy to do so. Winner's privilege.
I will say, so I did when I got home, I watched your, it was like the introduction of the cast or whatever with production. I loved the fact that you like pretty much, you guys predicted my game. Like that was freaking awesome. Like you guys literally predicted my game. And you're like, wait a minute though. She played in Gettysburg and then she also did New York. Is this the same? And it was just like, oh, he knows my other two seasons. That's so freaking cool. So yeah, no, I love that aspect. That was nice.
Thank you.
Really like that. Yeah.
All right. So apparently you have a pet snake.
I do. I have a pet snake. His name is Mr. Big. He is a banana ball python. He is probably like 4 feet long.
Substantial.
Yeah, I've had him for like 8 years. When I came home or I talked to my fiance for the first time, he goes, "Hey, so does that mean you're going to kill the snake here since you killed the snake out there?" And I was like, "No, dude, that's my pet," because he hates the snake. Like he cannot stand my snake. And that's also because like my cat likes to let the snake out. Like we have a ratchet strap over his cage now because my cat will let the snake out. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, so I have some final rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
If you can go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice before playing Reelfoot, what would you tell yourself?
Work out before you fucking go.
Well, you were injured, right?
I had a left arm and my legs. I could have worked those out. Done some cardio, like learned some puzzles, something.
Do you prefer playing a Survivor game with or without redemption?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's hard for me to answer because so my first game I made it to the final 3. My second game I made it to the final 3, and the third game I won. Right, so like I've never really had to have redemption. For this one, I could have done with it and could have done without it. It did add a nice twist to the game because we didn't know who was going to come back. And like we were, like I said, nervous about Larissa coming back because we knew that could have changed the whole game aspect if Larissa would have came back because she would have been going for every single one of our heads. I'm going to say I like it because it just gives you the chance to fight your ass back in. Now, if I would have got voted out and had the chance for redemption, would I have done it? No. And here's the reason why. No one hate me for this, but this is the reason why. It's because I suck at challenges. And redemption is what? Doing a challenge. Can I do a challenge? No, I can't.
Hey, fire making was one of those challenges.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was like the final challenge to get back in.
Oh, that's right. That's the one that we got to walk in on was fire making. Yeah, but you had to do like 6 other challenges before they even made it to that point. Like I was told there was a slip and slide. No, I have bad luck. What would have happened is I would have went to go jump and slide down that thing and I probably would have busted my face open and would have had been medevaced or some shit. I did see the little pole they had to stand on. That one I definitely could have done because I have bony ass feet and I'm little. So like that would have been my kind of challenge. But I wouldn't have done it just because I would know that people would have beat me out. And then if they would have did a trivia thing about Survivor, I obviously would have sucked at that. Like in New York, there was a challenge we had to do. And we had to spell out a phrase, and Chris was like, "Oh, you watch Survivor? What's the phrase?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking watch Survivor, so I don't know what you're talking about." So I had to stand there and cheat and wait for someone else to finish the phrase, so I knew what the fuck they were talking about. So no, I would have never probably stayed to do redemption. I would probably just stay to just watch and hang out with production team, because like the production team, they're freaking amazing at Reelfoot. Like they are a blast to hang out with. So you could do with it, you could do without it. It would just depend. Is it going to be endurance challenges, or is it going to be like puzzles and stuff? If it's puzzles and stuff, yeah, I'd probably do it. If it's some running and shit, no. I'll stand on the sidelines and watch.
What was your favorite challenge?
Oh, I had a couple favorite challenges. Obviously the beanbag where me and Mary Ellen were going back and forth. Yeah. That one, like, I was so proud of myself that I even made it that far in that challenge with her. Like I knew I would do good with the aim part. Mine was tossing the disc because I knew I couldn't toss it far or it was gonna like roll places, because like that shit was actually harder. Like I know in the screen, everyone's like, "Oh, that's really easy. You're just tossing a disc." Those discs had mind of themselves. And if you didn't land it right, it would roll. Like if no one was paying attention to Aaron, like I felt so bad for his disc because it was just going all over I think it was Aaron's disc that was going all over the place. Somebody's disc was going all over the place and they just could not get a handle on it. So that challenge, and obviously the challenge I won was really fun. The tug of war, I actually thought that was really cool, even though I knew I wouldn't be that great at it. I actually thought that was a really cool challenge. The maze challenge in the water fucking sucked. Screw that challenge. Okay, so like that challenge, all right, so we're in water that's like up to our chest, right? And we're sinking in mud. Like the lake's just filled with mud. You can't get your footing in that shit at all. And then there's floaties that are heavy, and they got these wooden 2x4 mazes on them that probably weigh a solid like 40, 50 pounds. I'm like, "Oh, lift it up out of the water and you're going to make a pole go down through this maze." And it's just like, are y'all fucking kidding me right now? The thing's literally wanting to just like fall on you and drown you as you're sinking in the mud. So like, fuck that challenge. I hated that damn challenge. Like, yeah. Grappling hooks, I love those challenges. There's a lot of challenges I also like that I know that I suck at.
That's okay.
But, like, yeah, I don't know. I like challenges. I'm just not very good at them. Like the puzzle ones, I like those. Those are fun. The endurance shit, y'all can keep that. It's for the birds. No, don't want to play those ones.
What was your favorite moment at camp?
My favorite moment at camp, I love camp life. I'm all about camp life. I'm all about like going and getting the fire and cooking for everybody and getting, you know, just life set up and being like entertaining and stuff like that. I prefer camp life over like, I love Survivor for the surviving aspect and the gameplay. I don't like it for the damn challenges. If they could just take the challenges out and have a game where you just go fight each other in the woods for survival, I'd be okay with that. But yeah, camp life, probably my favorite two camp life things would be obviously cooking my snake. That was just amazing. And climbing on Eric's shoulders. That was fun just because of the aha moment. Oh,
not getting Eric to smoke.
So I didn't know they aired that or not. So Eric is 57 years old, never had nicotine in his life, and long and behold, I got Eric to smoke a cigarette. It was a stressful day, and Eric's like, I think he said like, "Let me hit a cigarette" or something like that, and we're like, "Are you serious?" So I gave him my cigarette, and he like half-assed, didn't even like inhale or anything, and we're like, "No, you got to inhale it." So then I had to teach him how to inhale a cigarette, and he did it, and he fucking coughed his brains out, and he's like, "What am I tasting?" I'm like, "It's menthol, dude." And now he'll even make jokes in our group chat and stuff. He'll be like, "Sam, I'm addicted. My wife hates you." And I'm just like, "Bro, stop. Like, I can't believe I just did this to you." That was a crazy moment. I don't know, trauma bonding with a bunch of strangers in the woods is probably like the best part of Survivor, because you're going out in the woods. You don't have a cell phone. You don't have any contact from home. Like, you don't know any of these people. Like, normally you don't know the people unless you played with them before, but we're just going to go say you don't know these people. And so like you get to just be you without the social pressure that you have from like being whatever the facade is that you have in front of your family, your friends, your work life, whatever it is. So like you can just go out and you can just be like your internal you can be the outside you. And like, so that's probably my favorite part of playing these games is you can just be you and you don't have to worry about it.
Let's say you found the key to that lockbox at the start of the season. Would you have told anyone?
Ooh, no.
Okay.
So, and here's why. So I wouldn't have told anyone, and I wouldn't have unlocked it right when I found it. I might have unlocked it, looked to see what was in it, and then locked it back up and put it however it was. Like I have a really good when it comes to like memory things, like visually, I'm really great. Just visual memory. I can't remember what the fuck happened yesterday, but visual things. I know where that sock was laid a week ago. And here's why is because one, I wouldn't want the target painted on my back. And two, I would want to see who I could really trust because like on day one, you can't really, there's not really much you can do. In other games, there was on day one, I could do stuff. In this game, nobody talked strategy the first day. Nobody was really doing anything. And I'm pretty sure, I think I was like, there's two other people that had made the same statement that no one was really talking to each other that much. Like we were all kind of just hanging out together on day one. It wasn't until like day two did like bonds really start to form. So no, I would have just kept the key, waited until I found like there was a trustworthy moment or when I knew everyone hated me, and then I would have got it and used it to my advantage.
All right. Who do you wish you had an opportunity to work with in the game but never had a chance to do so?
There's a couple people. So for like personal reasons, Vito, just because Vito is like an amazing person. Even though we only got to spend the one day with each other, he's so genuinely kind and just I feel like we would have formed a really great friendship outside of the game because of that. Strategically, Joe. I feel like me, Joe, and if I could have pulled Anthony in, like us three with how our minds are, God, I feel like we could have made like the best freaking villain game out there. Like it sucks that I didn't get to showcase like my actual gameplay like I did in New York where I can be so freaking sneaky behind the scenes and make such powerful moves. And because I get so underestimated, like it is such a powerful thing to have when you're underestimated just because like you can just do so much more with it. Like, yeah, you can't do a lot of big things, but you can do so many little things like putting shit in people's ears to get a bigger move to happen or whatever. So yeah, I feel like us three would have really done some crazy ass things. Garrett and Logan, they were out so fast, which Garrett pissed me off because Garrett was on production in New York, and then when he went over to Redemption Island, he's the one that told Courtney. Yeah, he's the one that told that me and Danny know each other. So if he would have kept his freaking mouth shut, me and Danny would have like no one would have ever known, and that could have been part of both of our stories at the end. Like, hey guys, guess what? We've known each other this whole time, and you bitches didn't figure it out. And that was part of our game. But then Garrett snitched us out.
Who surprised you the most in the season?
Anthony.
Okay.
Anthony definitely surprised me the most just because like he hid his villain side so well the first few days. And it wasn't till he got put on the hot seat did his like attitude really come out to play. And it was just like, okay, Anthony, I see you over there. Like, damn, dude, you cutthroat. Like, why didn't we work together, man? Could have fucking did some shit. There's like I wanted to work with everybody. But when you're literally in a situation where nobody like it's not that like nobody wanted to work with me, but nobody wanted to work with me. So it's just like I wanted to work with everybody, but I could have fucking did some shit for y'all, but you fuckers didn't want to have it because you're like, no, the little smoky girl over there, we don't want nothing to do with her. She can stay over there smoking her damn cigarettes. Yeah, well, me smoking my cigarettes got me the win. So that's what I tell people. They're like, you look so young. You don't look like you're 36. I'm like, yeah, it's the nicotine. Keeps me young.
All right. Last question. Reelfoot's having a returning player season next year. Who's one player besides yourself you'll have to see come back and play in the season next year?
Out of my season?
Yep.
Ooh. Like, who do I think deserves to come back, or who do I want to see come back?
Do whatever criteria you want to choose, but one player from your season to see come back.
It's a good question. Jude.
Okay.
Just because, like, even though I know me and Jude don't like each other, I think Jude would be really great at these games just because, like, she's so fucking weird and she says, like, the most off the wall shit, and, like, a lot of it's extremely inappropriate, and you're just like, "Bro, where's your filter? Like, I think you need to go buy a new one at Walmart. The battery's shorted out or something." But how the way her mind works, she gets inside of people's heads really good. Like, I don't know if, like, they had the audio on during a lot of the challenges, but, like, during the tug of war challenge, like, damn, she is brutal. Like, she was yelling, "Kick them in the nuts," fucking pull her hair, drag them around the ground, and she's like that cheerleader that you need on your tribe to, like, keep you going, you know? And I just feel like because she has so much drive in her, I feel like she'd be really great at these games, and we never gave her that chance to, like, actually showcase herself. And if it wasn't for her, then Joe got robbed. She did, man, and it pisses me off. She did. She got fucking robbed. She never got to play her game.
Okay. Well, Sam, I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for letting me have the hours of your time.
Sorry? I'm your shortest one. Let's go.
No, you're not my shortest one. But, like, if you want to go longer, we can. But I think I have got everything I have to ask.
Nope, it was good. My only final thing that I will say is, anyone who watches this in the future, don't second guess yourself. Go play these damn games and don't underestimate yourself. And if you do underestimate yourself, use that for your advantage because it'll get you the win. That's it.
Ashley, if you and Sam can coordinate a fire challenge with Mary Ellen, I would happily broadcast that through the live reality game. So if you make it happen, I'm happy to broadcast that to the world.
You know what? We might have to do that, actually, because I think that's a great idea.
But speaking of Mary Ellen, tune in tomorrow night. I'll be talking to her at 5 p.m. Central Time. And then on Tuesday, I'll be talking to Courtney at 5 p.m. Central Time. So if you need more deep dives, I got you covered for the week.
Awesome. Definitely will. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too.